Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to round 3 of the 2021 RaceFactory Gaming National Championship here in MX Simulator. It is the High Point MX Simulator National live here on Start Your Systems. My name is Kellen Brower, bringing you guys the action tonight, round 3 of 12 of this 2021 championship in High Point in Mount Morris, Pennsylvania. A fantastic racetrack to come to every year. The elevation changes all over. Bit of a hard-packed track, but usually weathers up pretty nicely in sim. We'll get some pretty good ruts developed, and we're going to take a look at a hot lap here brought to you by atom.com, on board with atom.com rider Daniel Irvine on the 250F here tonight. Getting ready to go racing here shortly. But into this first turn, it's a bit of a different first turn configuration that we usually see at High Point. They changed it up a couple years ago. It's a 180 left instead of this long left-hand sweeper, down to a 180 right. Then the Carmichael double at the top of the hill. Some guys will elect to single and then double down their way down the hill, I should say, like we see Irvine do here. Get to the bottom of the hill, outside, inside options aplenty. We carry speed all the way into this kind of double that is new to the track. Again, pretty recent additions. Some of the switchbacks in the sections here used to go up to the top of the hill after that first downhill, but now it just kind of wiggles its way down to the very, very bottom. And you can see him here go through the gully. This used to be that turning double, now just kind of a scrub single, and then carry some speed up into the back. He's going to triple and land on this roller, tuck to the inside of this roller as well, and then down the hill, get the drive, and then throw literally the naughtiest whip we've maybe seen on a hot lap this year out of Irvine on the quad. Drop back down into the center of the racetrack once more, up the other side of this hill, and you're going to try to get on the brakes to land sharply up the inside on this hill. You step up all the way to the top, it's really hard to get on the brakes, so a lot of guys will be short jumping there. Drop back down through the gully, and again, another step up, met with a single into the back, and then this long left-hand sweeper that feeds you into this roller, and then kind of a wall jump down into, again, the center of the racetrack once more. Carry some speed up to this step up, and then at the top of the step up, you will have a hard right-hand turn all the way to the far end of the racetrack from where the starting line is. Left hand up the hill, and what used to be called Bradshaw Boulevard up to the top is now cut pretty much in half. As you come up to the top here, you're going to do this double, and instead of going straight up the old finish line jump, you're going to turn left, drop down the hill right here, and this downhill is very tricky. We saw Adam Holm pull off maybe one of the most insane passes in MX Simulator last year on this downhill, jumping almost all the way to the bottom off the top on the final lap of the race. Off-camber corner swoops you back up to the top of the hill, and this big uphill triple right in before the finish line jump, hard on the brakes down to the inside, and this little finish line table then feeds you back down into a right-hand sweeper again. Hit this single jump, and then down past the mechanics area, feeds you back onto the start line, and that's a lap here at High Point. Well, again, thanks everybody so much for tuning in to another round here of RaceFactory Gaming National Motocross in MX Simulator. The best riders in the world are on hand here tonight to do battle, and we're going to bring you guys all the action. I think there actually is going to be a couple consolation races we're going to get in. It looked like maybe there wasn't going to be enough entries, but they ended up having enough entries to maybe squeeze in some consolation races. But we'll jump in the server and check that out in a moment. First, of course, we want to talk about the qualifying times and our championship picture. So let's go ahead and pull those up on our screen now and take a look at where things are at. First off, the championship picture in the 450 class, we're looking at Alexis Leclerc and Tyler Lang starting to separate just a little bit, just like we see in the Grand Prix championship that runs on Monday nights. Leclerc and Lang only separated by 7 points in the early runnings here, but you also got to keep an eye on Colby Eaglin, Jeremy Seabolt, Dennis Fjellberg, all guys that can definitely sneak in there and win some motos, do some damage. And Eaglin and Seabolt still might actually be some championship hopefuls here as we continue down the stretch. But in this 250 class, it's already opening up quite a bit as the defending champion there, Payson Johnson, has already stretched out his championship lead to 22 points on Nathan Prynne. Cooper Hunt right there as well on 74. And Jaden Wilson, Luke Sullivan rounding out the top 5 there. But you can see that gap to the lead rider, Payson Johnson, and he has been on point so far in this early running of this championship. So it's going to be tough to knock them down, but it's only 2 rounds in, and we have 10 rounds still to go, including tonight's action. So we're going to see if someone can chunk away a little bit there tonight, as mentioned. In the 450 qualifying, though, here at High Point, it was your Supercross champion, Braden Carter, going fastest for the first time this season over Alexis Leclerc, Walter Gebhardt, Dennis Fjellberg, Tyler Lang, all in the mix. And you see there, Leclerc, Gebhardt, Fjellberg, Lang all in that 2 flat range, but Carter the only guy to dip into the 159s, and he was actually almost exactly 1 whole second faster than Leclerc on a single lap. If you look at the 250 times, 1.5 seconds faster actually for Payson Johnson in the 2 flat point 4 range, I should say, over Rasmus Balzer, Nathan Prynne, Ryan Pinkerton, and Neil Fitzpatrick, as that is the qualifying times here tonight at High Point. We're going to jump back into the server and see where things are at. As mentioned, I believe we do have a consolation race on the track. So let's see. They might actually be going right now. I think this is the Consi. Yeah, 450 consolation race. So Konauer says 44-man 250 motos and 450 has a Consi. We're off and running for this 450 consolation race, 4 laps, and all these riders will be going for the 4 remaining spots in the motos. So Brett Thomas is going to grab that early hole shot, and we're going to get a good look at how the track shapes up in the early runnings of the motos here in this consolation race. As the track will reset in between each motos, the tracks do actually erode. There is a erode system in the game, so the tracks do wear down. But as it resets every single time, the track is as fresh as you see it right now at the beginning of every single moto, and the long motos, of course, will rip the tracks a little bit deeper. The lines will develop a little bit more. But we do see that the track looks as fresh as it's going to be tonight, and will be that same way for another 4 motos a little bit later on. But Thomas leads, and Jack Haley, 2019 Supercross champion, is also right here in the mix as well. So Haley looks like riding the 2-stroke this year. Didn't quite get it straight into the motos on his Jack Daniels Racing Honda, but he's still out here trying to at least qualify through. Got Noah Bindis on that TemeculaMotorsports.com machine, and Trent Adams, atom.com number 44, has just moved into that final transfer spot. There was a crash at the bottom of the hill, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I was talking to his team owner and teammate, Adam Holm, a little bit earlier on today. Holm missed the Grand Prix on Monday, but looks like he is actually supposed to be back racing tonight, but he's doing so at Trent Adams' house. So maybe not on his most comfortable setup, but I think Holm is still expected to be in the motos a little bit later on. As a reminder to everybody tuning in for the first time this year, if you're new with us, the format has gone back to the old format that used to run, which means UID grab just happened at 5:30. Everybody needed to be in the server at that exact time. And we're going to do 250, 450, 250, 450 in terms of moto formats for the night. We used to go 250 class, get all of 250 class out of the way, then reset another UID grab, and then get all of 450 class done at the same time as well. But we've reverted back to what it originally was and what obviously they run in real life this year. So 250 Moto 1 coming up next here as the consolation race is now onto lap 2, and Jack Haley just made a small mistake. So Noah Bindis has gone by. And again, these guys just going for those 4 transfer spots, so you don't need to necessarily break your back. But Magnus Hastrup here is trying to close up from 5th on his EliteConcept.com machine. Travis Hoffman's back here in 6th. It's Seth Garrett in 7th. AJ Meadows here in 8th. Brandon Holdsworth runs in 9th. Zach Fisher excuse me, is in 10th. And Hollywood Wascombe is out of this one in 11th. So only 10 guys circulating on the track right now, which means only 6 riders are left that will not be making it through to the motos. 4 of them, of course, will go through. And Brett Thomas continuing to lead the way. And look, rather comfortable in doing so out front. No pressure from behind, as Jack Haley's made a couple mistakes and lost ground to this grouping. But yeah, good to see everybody hanging out in chat tonight. Seems like we got a couple people that were here. We got Brendan Kennedy, Eberhart26, Trace Taylor, even Braden Carter was in chat hanging out a little bit beforehand. Seth Shirley, Toasted Fishy, the Reed 34, Lucas Reed, Miss Ale Gaming. Of course, Jeremy Kohenauer had to drop by and let me know the deets. We got Bryson DeJong or DeJong. Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Titan Cox. How's everybody doing tonight? Lovely Wednesday evening or perhaps a Thursday morning, wherever you are in the world. And we're coming up to the halfway point of 450 consolation race. Brett Thomas, Noah Bindis, Trent Adams, and now Magnus Hastrup has gotten into the final transfer spot. So Jack Haley found his way backwards a little bit here. A couple mistakes perhaps for the veteran. Yeah, Brandon, I did download a stance pack. Again, you got to include it in the skins thread, so I didn't see a stance pack in the skins thread, but I went and found one on the team section of the forums, because that's how nice I am. But I think it's the right one. It was the one that was 2021 Stance MX posted by Ezra73MX like 2 weeks ago or so, and I'm hoping that it's the right one. So Haley on the 2, closing back up here on Halstrup. Charging down to the outside. Look at this move, maybe up the inside in the next corner. Oh, he might have an inside move. He's going to push it to the outside. Hastrup is trying to get back up the inside of Haley here, but Haley has gotten through for the time being. Oh, dualies, on board dualies with Magnus Hastrup here. Charging down the hill to the outside. So it looks like this is your best battle on the track right now, this battle for the final transfer spot. The leaders have separated themselves. Third is kind of all by himself. And of course, they're on board with 5th, 6th, a little ways back. 7th, 8th, and 9th still circulating back there. And Hastrup, excuse me, hit his head on the tough block there on the inside. And an instant fall off because of it. Then AJ Meadows hits him and gets front end lock and immediately falls over. Oh, the frustration will be pouring through right there, no doubt about it. Noah Bindis still giving chase to Brett Thomas, who is coming up to get the white flag right now. Give one more final shout out to everybody here in the chat. We got Keith Dennis is up in here. Dennis Fjellberg also hanging out, getting ready for his motos. We got Minnick. Do more flips if I end up on the stream. I like it. We got the CIA. Jacobs here. He said, "What's up, Kellen? And what's up with you, buddy?" Brad Hauk, hopefully I'm saying your name right, says, "Hey, Kellen, any tips for understanding suspension tuning?" Yes. So if you if you want to look around on our channel, we have a whole tutorial series, MX Simulator tutorials. If you check out our playlist, it's honestly probably easier to go to startyoursystems.com and then search through by game to find our MX Simulator tutorial, but I've done like 3 or 4 like suspension in-depth guides of what you should do or what you should focus on. At the end of the day, I always do try to tell you that like setups are kind of, they are what you make of them. If you're comfortable with something, other people might not be comfortable with that, so you kind of have to play with it, move some things around, feel, what rebound damping is good, what kind of rebound rate you want, what kind of fork oil you want, how you want the shock to feel, things like that. So, but you can check out those videos, and I go very in depth on how kind of each of them work and what they do and everything like that. So, I'd check it out that away. Kale Braden says, Monkey Racing skins are a bit messed up, so gonna fix it today. Okay, sounds good. Titan Cox. Let's see what is up. Everybody, Alligators here. Oh, Minnick is Saulnier. Yeah, I need to actually message you back, Dom. Sorry that I didn't message you back about the thing you messaged me about, but Maybe ding me again on the old Discord, and I'll try to get back to you tonight about it. Final lap here at High Point Consolation Race. Brett Thomas and Noah Bindis are going at it for the race win. Nothing doing really in trying to get this win other than bragging rights, and Bindis lands on the back of Thomas. And Brett Thomas will, in fact, win the 450 Consolation Race. Noah Bindis will end up second still. Jack Haley moved his way up into third, and Trent Adams slipped back to fourth, but he should be A-okay, as Magnus Hastrup, unfortunately, is not going to be making it through to the motos here tonight, barring a disaster for Trent Adams in this last turn, and it will not be the case. Adams goes through. Hastrup headed home, brings with him Zach Fisher, Travis Hoffman, Brandon Holdsworth, AJ Meadows, Seth Garrett, and Hollywood Wascom out of the consolation race, who will not be going through to the main motos tonight. We got Could You To Mix versus MX ATV. Okay, yeah. So you're saying ask them to add handguards, Rainbow Studios. I don't really have that power. I could ask them if that's something they would plan on doing, but I think that their real plan, and I'm not going to say this is 100%, but I'm pretty sure they're working on a new game. So we'll see how that goes. So maybe they'll add handguards on that thing, huh? Yeah, Haley has made it through on the two smoke. Third place in this consi. He's good to go. Oh, Brandon Holdsworth with the front flip. Like the all purple digs he's got going there. Any cuts? Any changes at all? No changes at all. Brett Thomas goes through out of the consolation race into the motos, which means 250 moto number 1 coming up next. Back here in studio, Kellen Brower hanging out, having a good time. And we are looking forward to 250 moto number 1 coming up next. But hopefully you guys in the chat are all having a good time tonight. 104 live viewers. It's outdoors, baby. We usually get a lot of people hanging out for Supercross, which I get. Supercross is like a little bit more popular. But I like the crowd that hangs out here with us in the outdoors, because you guys are diehards. You're into the sim scene, and you stick around and watch 3 hours of motocross racing. I feel like the Supercross races kind of go by a little bit faster. You can pick and choose your times, and like, you know, if you log on and see, oh, you know, the main events are still an hour away, what am I here for? But you guys stick it all the way out. I love it. Love to see the liveliness in the chat room. As I say that, nobody starts chatting right now, but hey, it is what it is. Like I said, 250 Moto 1 coming up next. But in this consolation race, it was Brett Thomas, Noah Bindis, Jack Haley, and Trent Adams going through. There's Jack Haley's JDR Honda. We here, cuh. I got you. TK11. I am not going to Washougal. Well, I won't say 100% sure I'm not going to Washougal, but the plan is right now that I'm going to do Redbud for sure. I already booked my flight. Millville 2 weeks after that. And maybe one more East Coast round, but most likely just Fox 2 and then maybe Hangtown. I really want to go to Washougal, but right now, because we're kind of like slowly working back into who's going to the races for Racer X, we're kind of splitting it up evenly, so we're not sending a bunch of people to one race kind of thing. So there's like kind of 3 of us that are going between that to do the work, and each person got to pick 4 races to go to, more or less. So of course I'm going to go to the 2 Fox Raceway Nationals. They're like in my backyard, but definitely going to go to Redbud and Millville. So if you guys are going to be there, let me know. Let's see. We got Ash Sauls. Hey, Kellen. What's up, Ash? How are you? Got Hans Soriano. What's up, Kellen? How are you, bud? I am fantastic, good sir. Thank you so much for asking. How are you doing tonight? Gucci 111. We out here. Titan Cox says, personally, I think outdoor is more fun to watch. I agree. I definitely agree. The CIA is going to be here for the whole stream for the first time. I like it. Ty Ports is ready. Double thumbs up. Who do I want to win IRL? Anybody. Honestly, I just like good races. I don't really care that much about who wins the races in real life. I just want to see good racing every weekend. So if we get that every weekend, that's all I really care about. What was the Peyton 2019 incident? I'm guessing you're asking why he was banned for all year of 2019. I don't remember the specific details, but I think it had to do with key sharing. So usually, I mean, it's kind of like the biggest thing you can do in the game aside from DDoSing that will get you banned. Some people have been permanently banned for key sharing, but usually speaking, they let you back in, and I think that's what happened with Payson. I'm not going to swear that's 100%. What budget PC would you recommend that's good for a decent amount of games and mods? Dude, I get a lot of people that ask me that question. Honestly, I feel like I might make like a tech tip section on the Start Your Systems website because I have so many people ask that question. It's so tough because like there are a lot of PCs that are really good, but it kind of depends on what game you want to play. If you want to play Sim, you got to find something with like an Intel i7 or newer, and usually like something that's a little bit higher. Because Sim operates off of one core, and if you get like an AMD quad core or like, you know, some sort of gnarly multi-core processor, Sim sucks running off of it. So like it's just really hard, like without knowing your budget and giving you like really specific details, it's so tough to say what exactly will work and what won't. I've been to Washougal before, Danner. I want to come back again for sure. But, yeah, just maybe not in the cards for me this year. Next year, probably, though. I think I for sure would like to come to Washougal next year. Been there before. It's a beautiful place. Loved going to the race there. It was a lot of fun. So, are you kidding me? How many BPC packs do I got to download? I don't have Cochrane skins now either. Hey, KR Money. Hanging out in the Chiggity chat room. All right, we'll go back to the live screen. I'm trying something new tonight. I'm going to try to see if I can get it to work. So first off, we got this bad boy right here. That is displaying the wrong thing. Okay. Got that. And moto timer. Let's see if I got that in right. Boom. That is perfect. All right, here we go. 250 Moto 1 on the gate and ready to go. Let's drop the gate at high point. Pretty good jump for the 42 of Prin. He's going to lead him into the first turn. There was some contact aplenty, and Prin will lead them out. It's going to be Nathan Prin picking up the Studio 8 Hole Shot Award out of turn number 1. He has got Payson Johnson on the 1 mixed in. Casey Cochran on the 90 is also there, but it's a fast Frenchman leading them around here down the hill, off the top of the hill on the first lap. It's Prin, Cochran, Johnson, Thomas Sunis with a good start. Braden Tharp also in the mix inside of the top 5. Trevin Thompson, Dalton Plessinger, they've all got good starts as well. As everybody kind of funnels in on the first lap, and already Cochran getting undone there by Johnson. Payson Johnson, championship leader and defending 250 outdoor national champion, moves up into second place on the first lap of the race here at High Point. Now let's see, can he get after Prin here in the early runnings, or will Prin set sail out front? It seems like these two can run a very similar pace to each other, but we'll see how long it runs that way. So hopefully you guys like that new display. So it shows the timer and what moto it is. So anybody that's watching the stream back later on, it's going to be a little bit easier to find out where you are watching the broadcast. So hopefully that's a cool update. I said on Monday I was going to try to clean it up a little bit, and I think this one maybe looks a little bit better. So let me know. Back to the action though. Nathan Prin and Payson Johnson already kind of stretching the gap out to Cochran behind them. Dropping down the hill here. Seems like Johnson was catching Prin a little bit, and then Prin maybe realized who was behind him and wicked it up a little bit or something. Either way, Johnson, a little off-track excursion that could affect him with some penalties later on after official results come in. Those of you new to RaceFactory Gaming National Motocross, the game creator Josh Vanderhoof implemented a system in the game where there are about 50 some odd timing gates on the track throughout many different areas of the racetrack, and if you happen to miss a timing gate or two, So say if you miss timing gate 41 and 42 and you go straight from 40 to 43, it'll do a little rough calculation based on average times going through those segments. And if you've gone faster than that average time from gate 40 to gate 43, it'll give you a penalty to the sum of that exact time that you gained based on the average time and what you gained by being off track. So it's a fun little addition to the game, but it's so tricky and finicky to deal with sometimes, where you go off the track and you're trying to play it safe, but you end up going maybe a little bit faster and then you get penalized for it. As up the inside, Johnson is going to make the move for the lead. That was very quick. Print, a little mistake. And Johnson immediately took advantage. So let's see if Print on the 42 can keep Johnson in his sights as they both launch down the hill. They're going to tuck up to the inside here. Print going to the outside, carrying a little bit more momentum, but then you see Johnson gets the wheels back to the ground, coming back down into the center of the racetrack. Print funnels in behind. So Johnson now leads from Prin. And this could be a situation where Johnson starts inching away the lead in a hurry. It is so tough to stick with him when he's running a pace like this. But if anybody could do it, it is Prin out front. Shout out to Danner in chat, a 99-cent donation. Put the 100 emoji. I like it. Thanks so much for the donation. Prin charging down to the outside. And it seems like Johnson is just inching away here in the early goings, but Prin does not want to let him go. Very, very early on in this moto. Still so much time left on the clock here. So it is Johnson and Prin, 1 and 2. They have opened up a sizable gap already on Casey Cochran in third. It's Braden Tharp in fourth. James Wilcox with an early ride, looking strong here in fifth. Nick Tomasunis behind him in sixth. Lane Wofford runs in seventh. It's Wilcox in eighth. Blake Wickland runs in ninth. And trying to sneak up the inside was Dylan Cavacuti there in 10th. We also see Garrett Hollenbeck. Haven't seen Hollenbeck around for a little while. And Cooper Hunt, third in the championship. He is mixed in with all these guys trying to fight his way forward. Everybody kind of jockeying for positions off the top of the hill here. Oh, and at the bottom of the hill, that was the 13 there of Wickland getting sent around a little bit. And I think it was Balzer that almost hit him. So they all kind of stood up on top of each other. Yeah, Rasmus Balzer kind of sneaking into the picture there on the motorsport.com number 50. Little slide out there. That was Adrian Wilson on the 759. Question in chat is, what controllers do most people use? It's kind of all over the board, honestly, these days. It does seem like, generally speaking, people tend to float more towards the Xbox controller, like an Xbox One controller. I think maybe a couple people do use like either Xbox Series X, or in my case, I still use an Xbox 360 controller because I learned the game on it, so it's just my hand is used to that feeling. But there are people that use, you know, DS Tool and stuff like that, and use PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 controllers. And some people use much older controllers because they're still comfortable with that feeling. So it's kind of all over the place. So another lap in the books, and it seems like Johnson is definitely starting to put some time on Print. A 2:02.2 to a 2:03.3. If you look in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, these two dots are all alone up here. Johnson and Prin way out front from the pack, and they are putting down a blistering pace early on. 2:07.2 out of Cochran. Anybody even in the same zip code? Those guys did a 2:02 and a 2:03. Everybody is like 2:07 plus right now. 2:06.5 for Balzer, but that's pretty fair out of him. Like, that's usually a lap he's comfortable doing, but he did go down last time by. Everybody just trying to put down the laps here early on. Look at the frantic action here, though. Wickland, Shirley, Wilcox, Balzer, all in a freight train coming down the hill. We had just seen this group, most of this group at least, a lap ago, all fighting with each other. Oh, some cross lines between Shirley and Blake Wickland up here. Wilcox also trying to get to the inside of Wickland. So jump down the hill up the other side. Balls are going to go for a double pass on the inside. And the motorsport.com number 50 does get it done and nails the triple uphill to the inside. So able to make that pass and kind of sneak away. Shirley, Balzer, Wilcox, and Wickland is now the order of this group. Just ahead of them, it is still Garrett Hollenbeck. And Cooper Hunt has worked his way a little bit forward here on the 38 Covenant ride. Lane Wofford just up the road to him, and Nick Tomasunis has got another great start here. Rider down, that's James Wilcox. The elevated Motorsports number 74 is going to lose 2 spots. Will he lose another one? Here comes Hunt, and yes, Hunt indeed will also go by. Not quite enough time for Hollenbeck to get into the picture, but I feel like it's only a matter of time before Rasmus Balzer starts making more passes and gets into this grouping ahead of him. Look up the road to see Braden Tharp here in 4th. It's still Cochran 3rd. And Prynn continues to lose just a little bit of ground each time. A 207 flat. I mean, still one of the fastest riders on the track right now is Nathan Prynn. But when ahead of you, they're doing 202s, 203s, and now a 204.7. It's just so tough to keep up with Payson Johnson right now. He is incredible at this game. And might be on his way to back-to-back outdoor titles if this is the pace he's going to show us all summer long. Came from way back on Monday to win a moto in the Grand Prix scene. Nathan Prynn was unfortunately a bit unlucky in that situation, as he had an internet problem that caused him to DNF the moto while he was leading the moto. So obviously that was not an ideal situation for him. But Johnson has been dynamite otherwise. Another good question in chat from Alligator says, Kellen, how does someone know if they missed a timing gate? You really don't. That's the unfortunate part. You can look on the editor at the track beforehand. His Prynn has gone down out of second. He is going to remain second, but man, he just lost a lot of time. But yeah, back to the timing gate discussion. You can look at the timing gates from overhead in the editor mode of the game if you use -- editor in your target line and see where they all are. But other than that, you don't have any indication where they really are aside from your pit board updating when you go through a gate, as Cochran just went down in the same spot that we just saw Nathan Prynn go down, and he is going to lose not only 3rd, but maybe 4th, as Tomasunis is giving him the business. But number 90 machine able to hang on right there. But yeah, so you really just do not know there. Oh wow, Tharp down as well. But you just don't know exactly where each timing gate is until you've kind of gone through it. And because of that, oftentimes these guys are just trying to find the best way back onto the track, and more often than not, you usually end up getting a few cuts from it. So it is Johnson leading from Prynn. Cochran still 3rd. Lane Wofford here in 4th. Cooper Hunt now up to 5th. Very steady ride once again for Hunt. Braden Tharp now 6th. Wilcox is 7th. James, that is. Nick Tomasunis 8th. Garrett Hollenbeck 9th. And Thomas Wilcox rounds out the top 10. Rasmus Balzer now sits 11th. It's Dylan Cavacuti here in 12th. Jonathan Alexander 13th. Blake Wickland is 14th. And he's side by side with Seth Shirley. Shirley going to try to jump in and shut the door, and he'll get it done to go into 14th. Nicely done there, Seth Shirley. Wickland back to 15th. Alex Kerr here in 16th. 17th for Logan Leitzel. 18th coming down the hill now is Neil Fitzpatrick. 19th for Bobby DeSalle and Trevin Thompson in the final points-paying position. But here comes Luke Sullivan. Another bad start for Sullivan. It has been that kind of year for him. He got one moto win early in the year at Valkenswaard in the GP scene, but since then has got nothing but bad starts, and it's really been killing him. So Adrian Wilson, Trevin Thompson, Alec Horn, Frank Jackson, and Dylan Love back to 25th. Phil Bull 26th. Hayden Stevenson, Zoe Cross. J.R. Reyes 29th, and Jeremy Estrella is 30th. Ryan Pinkerton 31st. Seth Crotty 32nd. 33rd for Jeff Giffen. 34th for Dylan Adams. Brandon Wolf coming down the hill in 35th here. 36th for Joe Wagner, getting a little wayward coming in. Dalton Plessinger, the first rider, a lap down in 37th for Monkey Racing. 38th for Jake Melton on the AEO Power Sports. Gas. Nate Brow is 39th, but he is lag city. Lag city, yo. Magic Manning his way up the racetrack right now to, I guess, make the pass. So Seabolt out of this one, as is Emmett's son, Jack Fowler, Dominic Saulnier, and blocks him, the last rider on the racetrack right now. Find our way back up to the front and see it is still Payson Johnson, so nothing changed there. Go back and find ourselves a battle. Looks like Cooper Hunt has got around Lane Wofford for 4th. Side by side on the uphill, it's James Wilcox and Braden Tharp. Wilcox going to shut the door there. Tharp still trying to give it a charge, though. Oh, Tharp going to lay it down, and he's off the bike. So Thomas Sunis, I saw Balzer going by. I think that was, yeah, Hollenbeck, and then Thomas Wilcox also through. And here is Rasmus Balzer, one of the fastest riders in this 250 class, still trying to slice and dice his way forward. He's linked up now with Thomas Wilcox, and they're trying to catch Nick Thomas Sunis. And just ahead of that is James Wilcox at the bottom of the hill. "30 minutes plus 2 laps for this race here," and you can see that timer in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. We got just over 16 minutes of this moto still to go, plus those 2 laps, so a lot of time to still make amends here. Is James Wilcox going to lose 2 spots right there. Thomas Sunis snuck up the inside and brought Thomas Wilcox with him, and now Rasmus Balzer in the background is trying to get into the picture here as well, as these guys continue to battle for 6th now. It's Thomas Sunis, Wilcox, Balzer, and Wilcox. So a couple of the Wilcoxes in the mix. Balzer trying to jump to the outside of James. Balzer had actually, I think, just gotten around James Wilcox, and then James Wilcox got him back. Oh, and then Thomas Sunis hits the deck, so these 3 riders are going to go by, and then some. I think a few riders were in the mix behind Thomas Sunis. That's a tough scene right there to fall off. Look at this, Balzer up the inside of James Wilcox, and there's almost going to be side-by-side coming up the hill. Wow, James Wilcox again shutting the door. Balzer just not quite able to get in there yet. Make something happen on that 50. Meanwhile, the 74 of James Wilcox is holding steady. Little mistake, though, coming up the hill. Balzer's going to try to sweep to the right. Scrubs the uphill triple a little bit harder. We kind of had dualies. To the outside, Balzer now turns to the inside. Still does not quite get the line in just yet. Now squares it off again, coming up the hill past the mechanics area. Just trying to get the drive this time. Still hasn't got it. James Wilcox riding a masterful defensive race here against Rasmus Balzer. And the motorsport.com number 50 has still not been able to get that pass done just yet. Oh, James Wilcox lays it over, and he keeps it on 2 wheels. But that is finally Rasmus Balzer going through and into 7th place. Now he's going to try to catch up to Thomas Wilcox, who has kind of snuck away here. Lane Wofford just up the road of that. So it looks like Thomas Wilcox is kind of catching Lane Wofford here. Oh, meanwhile, we got a change for 3rd. Cooper Hunt has now gotten around Casey Cochran. And this has just been Cooper Hunt's MO all year long. Still has not been able to quite win that moto in either the GPs or the RaceFactory Gaming National Championship here. But he has been oh so close, and yet again finds his way up into 3rd after a so-so start. But he's just been so consistent and letting it all come his way here. The midpoint of this moto. Here is still Prin and then Johnson. And the gap between the top 3 is massive. Cochran is still right there. Here we go, side by side, Wofford and Thomas Wilcox up the hill. Wilcox on the 33 down the inside. It's going to make that pass stick on the 181 Underground RC effort. That's Lane Wofford. Now Rasmus Balzer in the background, sensing an opportunity to try to close up on Wofford as well, while he is still a little bit vulnerable from this battle. Balzer jumping down the hill. He's going to charge this outside line, and again the track does erode and develop, and you're going to see the track kind of slowly get these bigger and bigger braking bumps coming down these tricky downhills. So more or less, it kind of comes down late in the race to who is willing to send it through that choppy stuff, and hope you can keep it on 2 wheels. Oh, and Thomas Wilcox, just after he finally got that pass done, tips it over in the first turn there. And Wofford goes back by. Balzer is right there as well, trying to capitalize on Wofford. We'll see if he can make something happen here coming down the hill. This is where he got James Wilcox a lap ago. Likes this outside line. He charges in out there. Wofford going to stay up the inside. Balzer around the outside, going to get the spot, I think. Maybe not. That's Dalton Plessinger on the 67 moving out of the way. And Wofford holds steady on the attack. Rasmus Balzer giving him everything he can handle. But so far he has held on. And now Wofford swings out, comes back in. And Balzer says, thanks very much. I will take that spot. But look at this. Wofford tripling back up the inside. They're still so close together. Joe Wagner, lap rider, down on the outside right there. Balzer lays it over, and he's finally got a pass stuck here, I think, on Lane Wofford, and that moves him up into 5th spot, I believe. Still Cochran in 4th, Hunt 3rd, and Prinn in 2nd. Time has gone down a little bit between Prinn and Johnson, so I think that might have been a crash last time by or something for Johnson. 210 flat, and Prinn seems like he has maybe kind of kept his pace either the same or picked it up a little bit. 205.9 actually going a little bit slower than what he was doing before. So 8.5 seconds in it between our leaders. And as lap traffic comes into play, we'll keep an eye on whether or not that gets a little bit more interesting out front. Meanwhile, Wofford, who has now slipped behind Balzer, is going to have to deal with Thomas Wilcox charging forward again. Wilcox has been moving forward this entire race except for that little crash that he just had. Otherwise, he had been pretty much just making constant passes. So let's see if he can once again close up onto Wofford to get around him. Maybe set sail after Balzer just ahead of him. Jumping down the hill, inside line. Just going to move him to the outside. And that is a nice pass in the end. Wilcox around Wofford for 6th. Cavacuti 8th, Leitzel 9th. And Jonathan Alexander jumping down the hill in 10th here. Luke Sullivan has gotten all the way up to 11th, so the number 18 Phil's KTM rider, he was just sneaking into the points when we last saw him. Now finds his way up to 11th at a 207.6 last time by, 206.9 his best lap. He's only 1.3 seconds behind, and that's Jonathan Alexander just ahead of him there on the 148. You can see that battle already developing. Sullivan has got right there onto the back tire. Inside line, not quite able to make it happen just yet. But these guys are teammates, so I think they're trying to play nice with each other a little bit. And yes, Alexander, small bobble on the inside, and Sullivan now shoots by into 10th. Fellow teammate Logan Leitzel is just ahead of him in 9th as he jumps a little long on the uphill roller, I should say. Cavacuti 8th, Balzer 7th as mentioned, Casey Cochran 6th. Wilcox is now 5th, and Wofford has moved into 4th. Got a 3-rider-ish battle developing here. Cochran and Balzer, I think, both went down at some point and are now behind this group. And Wilcox, again, trying to make something happen on Wofford. Wilcox up the inside, going to try to get a drive. Wofford around the outsides trying to stay close. But in the end, Wilcox looks like he is going to get that pass completed. Got a charge to the outside, blocked the line off. Nicely done there. To the very bottom of the hill and swooping around the off camber. And Thomas Wilcox now finds his way up into 4th place. Still 8.9 seconds between Payson Johnson and Nathan Prinn. Cooper Hunt a lonely 3rd, and then we find this battle here for 4th with Thomas Wilcox 4th, Wofford 5th, Cochran 6th, and Balzer 7th. Oh, mistake for Wofford. He tucks the front wheel. That is going to allow Cochran through. Is Balzer also going to make this pass? Inside, bar to bar, into the next turn. Wofford just shuts the door hard, pushes him out. and keeps the spot for the time being, but Balzer is trying to fight back desperately down the hill here. 48 moving out of the way there. Nicely done. Balzer to the outside. He made this one work last time, and he does it again. Gets the pass done. Lane Wofford has been kind of yo-yoing in this group. We got riders down. Oh, we've got Wilcox is down. We got a couple lapped riders, and now Wofford and Balzer get together. They're both going to go down. So as Cavacuti picks himself up, Luke Sullivan is going to catch this group, and we're about to have some chaos here. Balzer gets up. He's still side by side with Cavacuti now as Wofford is splitting these guys. Sullivan tries to hop over top, almost lands on Wofford. Wofford goes kind of straight, so it's going to be Balzer side by side over this jump here. Dualies with Dylan Cavacuti. They're side by side, nearly coming down the hill into the center. Riders trying to get out of the way. You can see some lap traffic moving aside as this battle is hot and heavy. Cavacuti is trying to keep Balzer close, and then Wofford dealing with the pressure from behind with Sullivan. Several riders down before the scrub single jump, and that was, I'm not sure who initially started that, but Wilcox was down. I think Cochran was also mixed into it. Cooper Hunt now has a large gap over Cochran, who's fourth. It's Wilcox fifth. Then you've got Balzer and Cavacuti still very close together, and Cavacuti actually going to pull alongside, and they're going to fight down the hill. Balzer with a huge chop block coming down the hill. Cavacuti has to change his lineup, ends up the inside coming up the hill, and boy, oh boy, that was really close together there between these two. So Balzer hopping into the corner, holds steady. It's still Cavacuti right there. Wofford down before the finish line jump, and through goes Luke Sullivan. Wofford going to pick himself up and get back on the track just as Alex Kerr gets there. And we got Seth Shirley and Jonathan Alexander also mixed up as well, with Nick Tomasunis coming over the finish line jump behind them. So we got some battles kicking off here. Multiple different areas of the track as Cavacuti was just down in that corner, and Alex Kerr dealing with Lane Wofford right behind him. Got some lap traffic mixed in. Back to this grouping just up ahead. Balzer trying to catch up to Wilcox for the 5 spot. We'll stick with this one back here actually as Wofford and Kerr are still together. And Lane Wofford really providing the entertainment here on the broadcast tonight. He has seemingly been in non-stop battles for the last 15 minutes here. Both these guys trying to land on that inside roller, but Wofford ends up way outside. Seth Shirley, Jonathan Alexander. Oh, Tomasunis is down. Let's see how many positions he might lose here. That is going to be at least one. Logan Leitzel goes by. Tomasunis trying to right the ship before James Wilcox gets there, but not quite able to do so, or was able to do so, I should say. Wilcox not able to get there in time. And again, Wofford still trying to pressure Alex Kerr. Shout out, by the way, to Agris Sixna in chat for the €10 donation. Thank you so much, Agris. Always showing the support, hanging out in here, watching the races, having a good time, throwing donations like it's nobody's business. And really appreciate you, buddy, for always stopping by and hanging out. So thanks again for the donation. Wofford and Kerr continuing their battle up the hill. You can see that timer in the upper right-hand corner of your screen is winding down here in 250 Moto number 1. Kerr and Wofford are just nose to tail, kind of little dualies up the uphill triple there. And they got a lapped rider behind them who makes contact. I'm not sure who that lapped rider is. It's the 131, I think. But a couple riders going by. Seth Shirley, Jonathan Alexander. Wofford finally gets it picked up, but Leitzel has also gone by. So the lap traffic, I felt like, was doing kind of a masterful job there for a little bit, but unfortunately some contact takes Wofford to the ground. Balzer putting so much pressure on Thomas Wilcox ahead of him. This is for that 4th position. I'm sorry, 5th position. Cochran is still in 4th. Battle is heating up as Wilcox jumps off the track. Balzer to the outside. They're going to be bar to bar coming into this corner, and Balzer shuts the door. Did not want Wilcox to get back up the inside. So a nice kind of block into the corner there for Balzer, but Wilcox is obviously not done. He would love to get back around the 50 if he could. Also, another shout out to Danner in chat. $1.99 donation says, any idea on why MXS or MX Bikes is not on console as Wilcox goes down, excuse me. So Sullivan is going to go by right there. He'll get up just as Cavacuti's coming into the picture. Yeah, so MXS and MX Bikes are a couple of games that I don't think ever will end up on console. Sim definitely won't. Bikes won't and probably shouldn't. And the real reason why is they would not be successful as a console game. There are not many like simulator type console games, and that's what these are. They're simulated games, or they're meant to be. So they're very, very, very difficult. And aside from the difficulty side of it, the base models of both games are actually pretty dry and bland, if you will. There's only so many tracks. There's not really much you can do in terms of online. There's not a career mode or anything like that. And so, you know, each game comes with like 12 stock tracks basically, and they're pretty blandish, I would say. I don't want to like crap on them too much, but they're not like the epic custom-made tracks like a lot of users make for these games. Like, this is a custom-made version of High Point. It's not part of the game per se, and because of that, you just are never going to see a situation where it ends up on console, because you can't have those mods on console. You can't put this High Point track onto a console game. It can only exist on PC, and so yeah, I just don't think that you're ever going to see a simulated game like that, or really any simulated game. There's a reason why iRacing and Assetto Corsa and these other ones don't end up on console. They're just so much easier to mod and play and use and all this stuff on PC than on console. And I know that kind of brings up the PC Master Race discussion that's always brought up. Console has its part in the world, I think, but if you're like more of a diehard gamer and into those simulated things, you know, PC gaming is just kind of where it's at for all that. So it's kind of a long-winded answer about the status of gaming, I think, but that's really why you won't see simulated motocross games probably ever on console. So we had a report there was a battle for the lead, and I apologize if I missed it and it kind of separated since things happened, but you do now see that the timer has hit 0. So there is no time left in this moto, which means there is going to be 2 laps to go next time by. 2:07.7 Prin, 2:14.2 out of Johnson. It is definitely tightening up, but it might be a little too late for Nathan Prin here. He's going to need some help out of Johnson. If there's any consolation for him, is that Johnson is hitting lap traffic, and he's hitting a good plenty handful of it here before he ends this moto. 2 laps to go. Likely he's going to probably have to get through maybe 8 to 10 lappers before this one is over. So he is going to have to kind of put his head down and very methodically pick these guys off. Can't get too aggressive, but also can't sit on his laurels and just, you know, wait for the race to come to him, because Prin is going to be right there to pounce. Two-lap board going to come out next time by, like I said. And Johnson going to move around the lapper there. All right, up and over the finish line jump, a 2:04.6. So Johnson certainly wicked it up on that lap right there. Prin is trying everything he can to keep the gap close, but a 2:10.2, I mean, literally just lost basically 6 whole seconds right there after he had caught up to Johnson. Maybe some crashing for Johnson or what have you, but now Prin nowhere close. So Johnson looking like he is in a position here where he could even maybe crash here and still retain the lead, which is obviously the ideal situation you want to be in. But going through this lap traffic, it's doubly important to be that far out front just in case something does happen. So Johnson leading with a lap and a half to go. It's Nathan Prynne in second. Cooper Hunt third. Casey Cochran fourth. Luke Sullivan now moves up into fifth. Balzer back into this grouping here for sixth. Oh, rider down. Wilcox hits him. And that is going to allow Logan Leitzel. And here's Seth Shirley too. So a couple riders sneaking up into the mix here late as Shirley lays it over on the uphill triple and goes down. Wilcox, Leitzel all going by there. And Balzer now has some clear track to work with again. Uh-oh, that gap for the lead has come down significantly again. It's 3.6 seconds. I wonder if Payson Johnson didn't have some trouble with those lappers. And if you look on the upper right-hand corner of your screen, he's got a group of like 6 of them right in front of him coming down the downhill right here. At the pace he's running, it's almost a guarantee he's at least going to get most of this group in front of him on the last lap of the race. And that could be interesting here with this only a 3.4 second lead. He's going to have to really be careful and pick his moments here. .1, that gap has come down a lot. Oh, a little mistake for Prynne in the last turn. .3 seconds, and you can see the lap traffic in front of him here. 3 riders, 3 different lines. They're kind of battling with each other. I think some of these guys might be even battling for points. So you get into this situation where they don't really want to move. They're trying to score points in this moto. And they're just not going to let him by. Look at this. Johnson is trying to find something, but they're taking up every lane of the track for him to try here. He finally gets around 1, but he's mixed together in the middle, and he's going to make a big mistake. Out of the outside, doubles down the hill. Prynne getting into the picture here, and the lap riders now knowing Johnson has gone by might be a little bit easier with Prynne, knowing there's a real battle for the lead happening. They do not want to spoil it. More lapped riders as Johnson's going to sling by. 3.4 seconds in it. This is going to get good down the stretch. And you can see Prynne just lurking there in the background amidst the lap traffic. And there's more right in front of it if he's going to get to it. So it's wicked up here for sure. 3.9 seconds. Lap traffic nicely out of the way. Tomasunis was down on the inside. Prynne is trying to weave his way through this stuff desperately, too. Couple more corners to go, and Johnson has this Moto 1, but it's not over yet as Nathan Prynne is charging from behind. Last 2 turns coming down the hill. Johnson catching up to Braden Tharp for 16th here. So all these guys, Alec Horn, Phil Bull behind him, they're battling for points. They do not want to move out of the way. Johnson, a little mistake. Prynne is going to get so close here at the flag. Top of the hill one last time. And Johnson has survived. Payson Johnson wins 250 Moto 1 at High Point. It's going to be Prynne in second, 2.1 seconds down. So you never know. Cuts could come into play. Cooper Hunt third. Sullivan fourth. Cochran right behind him in fifth. Rasmus Balzer sixth. Logan Leitzel in 7th. Thomas Wilcox 8th. Dylan Cavacuti here in 9th. Alex Kerr in 10th, and Seth Shirley right behind him at 11th. So battle still aplenty through the field here on this last lap of the race. Dropping down the hill one more time. Kerr lays it sideways. Shirley right behind him as well. Look at this line. Seth Shirley stayed a little bit lower. He's got a charge coming. Goes to the outside. Kerr, a little mistake. Shirley going to try to square him back off. Oh, Kerr laying it over on the step up. Battle for 10th. Hot and heavy here down the stretch. Cooper Hunt has crossed the line in 3rd. So that position is solidified for him. But these battles are still raging to the flag. Cochran 4th, Sullivan in 5th. Battle for 10th is on your screen. Neil Fitzpatrick also right in the picture here just in case. It was Leitzel ahead of Thomas Wilcox in 6th. Wilcox 7th. Look at this line for Shirley up the inside. Just like his teammate Holm a year ago. sending it down the inside of the off camera, and they get together. They're both down, and that's going to be Neil Fitzpatrick sliding through to get 10th in this one. So 9th was Dylan Cavacuti. Seth Shirley gets up sideways, and he's high-centered on the rut. They're trying to get over the ruts. It's Jonathan Alexander who comes through. He'll finish up 11th. Kerr will end up in 12th here. 13th for Shirley. And, oh, he's down again. Wofford is going to get by, I think. It's going to tuck to the inside in the final corner, get by for 13th. And Shirley went from almost finishing 10th to ending up 14th in this moto. Braden Tharp 15th. James Wilcox will be 16th. It was Alec Horn 17th, 18th for Phil Bull, 19th for Blake Wickland, and 20th was Nick Tomasunis. So let's wait and see. Cuts are in. And oh, Prin got it on cuts. Wow, Nathan Prin. It was 3.88 seconds of cuts for Payson Johnson, and Nathan Prin has won 250 Moto 1 here at High Point. Unbelievable. Wow. Didn't expect that one to come at all. But he has done it, and that is going to flip the script a little bit in terms of the overall on the day. Payson Johnson had won both overalls on the season, was trying to keep his streak alive here at High Point. Of course, if he wins the second moto, he wins the overall no matter what, but suddenly Prin in a pretty good spot to try to take him down here at the third round. Wow. That's kind of crazy. All right. Well, little break here. Not too much of a break as we load into the next moto. I'm actually going to fix this right now. And put that up. Go back to the intermission screen. Yeah, almost 4 seconds of cuts. Yeah, we saw Payson kind of go off the side of the track early in that moto, and I wonder if that was maybe what had happened there. So, wow, that is kind of crazy there. Prin gets the win on cuts. Lawyer win here to decide Moto 1 in the 250 class. And 450 Moto 1 coming up. How we doing tonight, chat? 161 of you fine folks here hanging out, watching the racing action. Anybody got any questions? Yeah, there is some anti-cheat systems already involved in Sim. Honestly, like, the thing about, like, the hacks and the cheatings and stuff, the people that are cheating and stuff like that, I get it. I get that there's, like, some things that are really, really hard to see, but what Payson is doing out there is not something that is, like, new. Jesse Mullins was like this. Tyson Fresquez in his day was like this. Alexis Leclerc was like this. Jeremy Smith was like this. And did some of those guys cheat? Maybe. I doubt it. I don't think they did. I don't think guys like Jeremy Smith cheated in this game, but they were miles ahead of everybody else at one point in the game. And Payson's just the next generation of that. And he has someone that's kind of doing the same laps as him and Nathan Prince. So I don't think that it's down to cheating, personally speaking. Now, that being said, could they be? Sure. But I think that, like, visually speaking, I've watched a ton of this game, and I don't see them doing anything that's different than what I've seen for the last decade in this game. So just my 2 cents on that. Yeah, that's a heartbreak, no question. Yeah, great racing so far, no question about it. Jay-Z Joker says, hey, Kellen, you're my favorite YouTuber. Do you think Lang has the championship? Well, thank you, first of all. Glad that I'm somebody's favorite YouTuber. But I don't know. Lang has been really good this year so far, not only in this national championship, but in the GPs as well. So maybe. I think he could get it done in at least the GPs or the nationals. I don't know about both, man. It's tough, but yeah, we'll see. All right, 450 Moto 1 on the track. Colby Eaglin, Tyler Lang, Caleb Hall. It's Walter Gebhardt, Jeremy Smith, Ruben Galvez, Kyle Carpenter, Reed Young, Aaron Rockefeller, Devin Davis, Jacob Hubbard, Trent Adams, Brett Thomas, Jack Haley, Blake O'Brien, Chase Donovan, Daniel Mills, Cade Matherly. Hey, I got a skin. Sweet. Luke Magnetti, of course I don't have the BPC skins. I knew it. I knew that was going to happen. Casey Ullert, Cole Gress, Braden Carter, Jeremy Cohenauer, Roy Mitchell, Dylan Smith, Caden Speck, William St. Laurent, Jet Wisdom, Ethan Parks, Matthias Janis, Trey Moore, Chase Blakely. I got Blakely's bike, so there we go. I got Blakely's new bike. Robert Wilson, Alexis Leclerc, and Dennis Fjellberg ready to do battle here tonight. Bam. All right, let's see if I get this on the money again. Am I going to have Wygant on the show again? I don't know. We'll see. All right, get the timer started. 450 Moto 2 on the gate. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's time to get those revs up and drop the gate again. It's 450 Moto 1 live here at High Point. Caden Speck, always so good with the starts, and he's got another barn burner into the first corner. Makes some contact with Walter Gebhardt, but it's actually going to be William St. Laurent leading him down. He officially gets the Studio 8 Whole Shot Award, but it's going to be an early fall for him and his teammate. Luke Magnetti goes to the front. I'm so bummed I don't have the BPC skins. I literally talked to Luke about this today. I downloaded a bunch of stuff. I thought I had the right stuff. I still don't have their skins. It's been so tough to keep up with BPC this year. They've got like 10 packs, but Magnetti leads. And out front with Walter Gebhardt right in tow there. Oh, and Magnetti down out of the lead. Gebhardt to the front. So Gebhardt leads. It's going to be Caleb Hall second, Devin Davis third, Robert Wilson fourth, Colby Eaglin in fifth. What a mixed bag out front so far. We got Cole Gress right there. He's in sixth. Dennis Fjellberg seventh, Jacob Hubbard in eighth, Trent Adams ninth, Casey Ullert 10th, Magnetti 11th now. Blakely is in 12th, Matherly 13th, Trey Moore is in 14th, Rockefeller, Castaneda, Blake O'Brien. Where is Tyler Lang? Where is Alexis Leclerc? These guys are absolutely buried right now. Here's Leclerc finally coming through, 25th for the defending champion and your current points leader. He has got Braden Carter right behind him, your fastest qualifier, and even further back of this somewhere, unless I missed him. Did I miss him? I must have missed him. Tyler Lang is somewhere in here, though. So Lang must be just ahead of these guys. There he is. Lang on the 14 coming down the hill. Every single one of your championship contenders so far absolutely buried in the field. And meanwhile, Walter Gebhardt leads at the front of the field here at High Point. The Tegrity number 5. Going to bring us down to lead lap number 1. Caleb Hall right there with Robert Wilson, Colby Eaglin, and Cole Gress. And Dennis Fjellberg. It's a 5-rider train to the top of the hill. Oh, man, a little bit of nose riding there for Eaglin. And Gress is going to pull alongside. Cole Gress gets around Caleb Hall. Dennis Fjellberg also sneaks up the inside of Caleb Hall. And at the front of this group is Robert Wilson dealing with all kinds of pressure from these guys. Cole Gress, Colby Eaglin, Dennis Fjellberg on the 3. Everybody jockeying for positions in the early runnings of this one, as Lang has already slid up into 12th. So he's made some good early progress. We'll have to keep an eye on where Leclerc and Carter are, as Eaglin is just trying to make something happen. Gets into the rear tire there of Robert Wilson. So Wilson, Gress, Fjellberg, and Hall still in a bit of a freight train. Eaglin now slips off the back of this group, and Devin Davis has worked his way into the picture. Then Magnetti, Blakely, Adams, Matherly, and then Lang. Lang to the inside of Blakely, gets around him. Everybody's kind of all over the place here, though. Oh, man, 4 riders in the air at once, and Trent Adams goes down. Lang and Blakely dicing it up here. Cade Matherly just ahead of them. Still Gebhardt out front, though. This is a bit of a clinic early on here by Gebhardt. Battle for second is brewing, though. Robert Wilson dealing with pressure from Cole Gress on the Yogi Designs 143. Look at this effort out of Cole Gress. Gress trying to get up the inside of Wilson. Can't quite get it done. Fjellberg right there as well. I'll tell you what, Dennis Fjellberg on the number 3, the 2014 250 national champion, multi-time MX2 world champion in the game. As Gress finally gets around Robert Wilson, but with Fjellberg, he's looked maybe the best this year that I've seen him in 4 or 5 years, and that's saying something because Fjellberg has been still at the very tip-top of this game for a while. But Fjellberg finally got a GP race win on Monday at Matterley-Basin and has been right in the thick of it at the front for a lot of these races as he goes down the inside, gets around Robert Wilson. Little mistake is going to cost him another spot there, but Fjellberg has looked really strong here and is continuing to fight at the front, which is always good to see when the KG veteran out of Norway is riding at the top of his game. 3 riders coming down the hill at once. Eagling up the inside of Robert Wilson and maybe the inside of Dennis Fjellberg as they jump down the hill. Trying to catch up to Cole Gress just ahead of him. Eagling down the inside, still bar to bar with Fjellberg in a battle for 3rd. Oh, and Gress goes down. So Wilson goes by. I think that's Magnetti up the inside right there. And here comes Lang on the 14. Devin Davis right behind Lang. And then Caleb Hall on the 561. So it is Gebhardt, Fjellberg, Wilson, and Eagland. Eagland now falling back behind Robert Wilson. But the battles continue out front. It's been hot and heavy in the early runnings of this one. Wow, Braden Carter, your fastest qualifier, is currently dead last right behind Adam Holm right now. Going down the quad in the very, very background, actually. I just saw them streaking by, so rough start to the night for Carter, who just has not been able to buy a start in the outdoors to save his life. Eagland putting that pressure on Robert Wilson, though, into this turn. Also, a question for you guys. I upped the bitrate a little bit on the stream. I'm curious how it looks. What do you guys think? Does it look a little less pixelated? I feel like it wasn't that pixelated, but when you used to go on board, it would get a little pixelated. So let me know if this is looking kind of crisper. Might even up the bitrate a little bit more next time. Oh, Eagland almost into the back of Wilson there. To the outside, Wilson trying to hold steady, but Eagland finally gets that pass done. So Fjellberg into second there. Eagland 3rd, Wilson 4th. Magnetti here in 5th. Tyler Lang 6th. Devin Davis 7th. Caleb Hall 8th. Hubbard 9th. And here is Leclerc. 4 riders coming off this jump together. Ooh, Hubbard dead. He gets together with Hall. Hall goes down. Leclerc takes advantage of it, goes around the outside, moves his way up into 8th, and now is catching up to Devin Davis ahead of him. So Leclerc and Lang have both kind of equally worked their way forward here. And unfortunately for Carter, who was with Leclerc, he has gone the complete opposite direction, just completely backwards so far. Leclerc up the inside of Davis, and an easy pass in the end for 7th. And Hubbard, look at this. Jacob Hubbard on the 11. Oh, but he plows the SpongeBob and goes down. So Cade Matherly sneaks by, Chase Blakely. Cole Gress, Jacob Hubbard, Caleb Hall, Austin Bear, just an absolute freight train of riders. Casey Ohlert, Ruben Galvez. I like this 2-win team. It's a bunch of riders out of Spain that are showing their face lately, and they've been all ripping. Galvez dealing with Casey Ohlert just ahead of him, though. Peek back out front because Gebhardt is laying down a blistering pace. 2:01.2. He did a 2 flat point 2 before that. And Walter Gebhardt is absolutely flying in a huge Oppo whip on the quad. Anybody even in the same zip code? Anybody else running 2:01s right now? Doesn't look like it unless Carter way back here is. Where is he? Carter 202.2 last time by, so he's wicked up the pace, but he's so far behind everybody. 203.8, and I think Leclerc was in the 202s as well. Lang 202.8. 203.3 out of Fjellberg, but just 2 flat point 201.2. Nobody even close to running that pace on the track right now. Literally all by himself on the other side of the track right now. Everybody on the the far right side hill, if you're looking at the track map, Gebhardt was the only rider just now on the left side hill. Coming down back in the middle, 19-second lead. Let's see if he continues to run this blistering pace. Yeah, another 202.8 out of him, 18-second lead. Meanwhile, Fjellberg and Colby Egeland setting up for a battle for second here. Not sure if there was a mistake out of the number 3 machine or not, but either way, Egeland is inched right up into the picture. Oh, Gebhardt down. Gebhardt down with the lead. He's going to lose about 10 seconds off his lead. So these two are going to smell some blood in the water now, because that is the first mistake we've seen out of Gebhardt. He's running a blistering pace. Meanwhile, here's Lang and Magnetti. Lang has been surging forward this entire moto. Finally has gotten to the back tire of Magnetti for 4th, and might make quick work of him here as he goes down the outside on the 14. Might not be enough. Oh, little scrub dualies. And Lang gets that pass done. Up into 4th for T-Lang. Here is Leclerc in 6th. And he is trying to keep tabs on the 14 ahead of him. Remember, there's only 7 points between them in the championship. And Lang on Monday night, I should say, closed the gap to Leclerc in the GP championship from 6 to, I believe, 3 it is now. And he would like to do a similar chunking of points away on the defending champion today if he could. So right now, it would go from a 7-point gap to a 3-point gap. Excuse me, sorry, a 4-point gap, a 3-point swing as it runs right now. 2 points back to Magnetti and another extra point back to Leclerc between Lang right now. Fjellberg and Egeland still both pushing the envelope ahead. Racing each other pretty hard. Charging to the outside there, he is Egeland. But Fjellberg is holding steady to that pace. And Gebhardt back out front, starting to stretch it out a little bit again. Lap time check between these two, 203.6, 203.7, so pretty identical. Lang just did a 202.8 behind them, and Leclerc a 203.6 behind that. So Lang, fastest rider on the track last time by. Gebhardt put down a 211 flat with a fall off. Ooh, a mistake there for Egeland, got a little caught out by the ruts. There's nothing in it between these two. They've been pretty much nose to tail for the last 3 laps. And Fjellberg is just holding steady with that pressure from behind, just unwavering. Here's Leclerc, though, catching up to Magnetti. And with the way Leclerc's riding, you have to imagine his eyes are still set on winning this moto. We're not even yet halfway through, and it's looking like he's about 25 seconds off the lead, but he's only about 11 seconds off of second place right now. Back to this battle again. Egeland charged down the hill to the outside, and Fjellberg It's just like there's just no budging him, man. He is holding so strong at the front, but a little mistake. Both those guys kind of kick out. Might be doing that on purpose, though, to try to low line that single up the hill. Both these guys charging to the top here. Oh, Fjellberg, a mistake. He'd gotten sideways after the mechanics area, and he was out in the weeds there on the start straight, and Eagland takes advantage to go by into second place. So Eagland now P2. Fjellberg drifts back to third, and they'll both have to be wary about Lang coming before long. Magnetti still holding off Leclerc. Leclerc trying to go outside here, take a different line than I've seen anybody else take. But boy, oh boy, that was really fast. And he's trying to go to the outside, slides it all the way into the corner, somehow keeps it on two wheels. Inside again for Leclerc. And Magnetti has no response this time. The defending champ goes by and into fifth. So just past the halfway point of this race, and while things are a bit settled down here, let's go ahead and do a quick top 20 rundown. This one brought to you by R Jerky. Head over to eatrjerky.com. That's eatrjerky.com. Use the code SYS20, that's SYS20 for 20% off your order. Help support the Wageman brothers and buy yourself some quality beef jerky and eat some lovely snacks while you're watching the stream here. It's a good time. So thanks to them for bringing us this top 20 rundown. And it's Walter Gebhardt leading here at High Point. 450 moto number 1. The Tegrity number 5 out front, cruising away. Colby Eaglin in second on the number 24 Covenant machine. Just got around Dennis Fjellberg. On that Phil's KTM number 3 in third. Tyler Lang charging up into fourth on the Underground RC number 14. Fifth now for Leclerc on the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna Factory Racing number 1. Sixth for Luke Magnetti on the number 30 BPC Yamaha, but I don't have his skins. And his teammate Robert Wilson on the number 62 right behind that. And seventh on that BPC effort as well. Here's Blakely on the number 21 BPC ride in eighth. Ninth for Cade Matherly on the number 100 Stance ride. And 10th is Daniel Mills on the Jack Daniels Racing number 15. 11th was Matthias Janis, but he just went down and lost several positions. So now it's Jacob Hubbard on the 11 in 11th, but he's going to go down as well. And going by him, it's going to be Jeremy Smith on the number 4 Tegrity machine moving to 11th. Austin Bear on the 944 Yogi Designs machine runs in 12th. 13th for Devin Davis on the number 29 Phil's KTM. 14th for Caden Speck, his teammate, on the number 75. 15th for Matthias Janis. 15th actually for Jacob Hubbard on that Phil's KTM as well, the number 11. And now 16th for Matthias Janis on the number 130 Underground RC effort. 17th for Casey Ohlert on the Tegrity number 78. 18th for Chase Donovan on that number 64 Proline Designs machine. 19th for Jack Haley on the Jack Daniels Racing number 2, two-stroking it out here. And Caleb Hall holds down the final points bank position. Actually, scratch that. He just moves up to 19th on the Underground RC Cowie, but then he goes down. So back into 19th goes Jacob Hubbard. And now 20th is Roy Mitchell on the Jack Daniels Racing number 35. That is a top 20 rundown brought to you by the folks at R Jerky. Wow, Leclerc has gone backwards. He's gone forwards. He's just made a few passes, and he's up to third. He has gotten around Dennis Fjellberg, so Fjellberg must have gone down. Magnetti, Lang, they all must have gone down at some point there. And it is now Gebhardt, Eagland, Leclerc, Fjellberg, Magnetti, Lang. So Lang was almost up into that grouping, and then maybe Fjellberg went down and caught Lang with him. And it pushed them both now behind Leclerc. So Lang trying to fight back on Magnetti. And will do so. Magnetti a mistake and goes down. So these guys all kind of separated a little bit. Let's go back and find some of those epic battles going on throughout the field, huh? There's some good ones. Oh, big boy in there for Austin Bear with Caden Speck. Oh, and then he lays it over sideways. Here comes Devin Davis on the 29. Yes, it is. And an outside move for Austin Bear costs him the position. Davis up the inside goes around him. Shout out to Eric Thompson for the $2 donation. Finally had a day off to donate. Much love, homie. Thanks so much, buddy. Good to see you around here again. I know it's been a little bit since we saw you, but it sounds like you're working and grinding. Respect the hustle. So thanks again for showing up and hanging out. Casey Ohlert, Chase Donovan, Jack Haley, Roy Mitchell. And this is the grouping at the back of the points paying position. Mitchell 19th. Carpenter on the Tagger Designs number 39 is now 20th. Here's Jack Haley on the two-stroke, though. Coming up to 10 minutes to go in this moto. Oh, Haley, woohoo! So Haley lost a spot there to Mitchell. Oh, and then Mitchell gets into the back of Donovan. And gonna be sick to my stomach as everybody flips down the hill. A bunch of riders going by. So then in the end, that was spots lost to Hubbard, Gress, Castellaneta, and Carpenter, as well as Haley. All those guys collecting and going down, coming down the hill there. Peek back out front, see what's going on up here. Lang, Fjellberg, then Leclerc. Eagland still second, and Gebhardt out front. Oh, and Gebhardt down with the lead. That's going to give Eagland the race lead. Or will it? Gebhardt's trying to get going. No, Eagland goes by. They're still almost side by side coming down the hill, but we've got a new leader at High Point. It's Colby Eagland on the Covenant number 24. They're working their way through lap traffic, and they're trying to battle amongst each other. Is that the 403, I think, of Jet Wisdom? Is that him right there? Yeah, it looks like it. Oh, Gebhardt pushing the envelope. Don't lose it, Sunshine. He's riding such a good race out front, and sometimes Gebhardt tends to get a little over his head here at this stage. So Eagland into the lead, dropping down the hill. Gebhardt right behind him, and Gebhardt down again. That's going to cost him second, I think. Here comes Leclerc. There goes Leclerc into second, so the one is by. And Lang dropping down the hill behind him. Trying to close up. Wow, it is unraveling here for Walter Gebhardt. Led this race from the gate drop. And starting to fall apart a little bit here. And again, maybe pushing the envelope a little bit too much, getting flustered that it's coming unraveled. It's weird because there was a time in this game where Gebhardt did not seem to do this. And I can't tell if it's because he's actually frustrated or if he gets to a stage where like he crashes so many times that he's like, whatever, screw it. I guess I'll just wing it, kind of like a I don't care anymore stage, which seems to be the latter because he does disconnect from races a lot while he's towards the front of the field. But we'll see whether or not he can regroup. He was running a pace that was incredible, so he might even be able to just catch Leclerc here. Wow, 2:28.9, awful lap there for Walter Gebhardt. And I just want to stick on board with him because I think he can run Leclerc's pace, which not many people can do, so that's got to be quite a bit of fun to watch it. Look at this, already on to the back of the number one. Leclerc jumping to the outside, Gebhardt following him. They both kind of low line that single, then double down the hill. Look at that, and then hop that bump to the inside. That's the kind of stuff I could never, ever quite figure out to be good at in this game, but these guys just make it look so clean and easy. They just hop from bump to bump, corner to corner. Gebhardt into the back of Leclerc and down. Oh, man, maybe a little bit too overzealous on the attempt there, and just as he got to Leclerc, he goes down again, and now is dealing with pressure from Lang. And now Gebhardt is backflipping the quad. He lands it, but I think that is kind of proof of where his mindset is here. He is not fully focused on winning this race anymore. He is more out there having fun, is trying to put in laps. And sometimes that can result in race-winning pace, but oftentimes it results in a succession of crashes when you were in the zone and things were going so well, and then you're suddenly kind of tossed out of that zone a little bit and start riding over your head and getting a little flustered. Tyler Lang has crept up into the picture, though, on Gebhardt. And shuts the door on the 5, and Lang goes by into 3rd. So Lang trying to salvage as many points against Leclerc as possible, but he might want to just go a little bit further or a little bit harder than that, because Leclerc is catching your race leader, Colby Eaglin, and he's doing so rather quickly. Meanwhile, Gebhardt does not want to let Lang go. And he's going to get him back. Gebhardt launches past him into the mechanics area. Rider going down. I think that might have been Ethan Parks. So again, these two swap positions, and they're riding quite the pace, pushing each other here. They've actually kind of closed it back up on Leclerc a little bit, I feel like. Like, that was a fall-off crash for Gebhardt, and he's only, what, 5 seconds behind Leclerc? 3 seconds? And now it's 5 seconds from Leclerc to your race leader, Eaglin. This is tightening up. This is going to tighten up real quickly here with just over 4 minutes and 2 laps still to go here. Gebhardt pushing the envelope. Lang trying to keep pace with him. Leclerc running solid pace to catch up to Eaglin ahead of that. And right now, there is no lap traffic between any of them. So this is all a mano-a-mano battle, really, of just straight-up pace. Gebhardt tosses fat on the quad. And that gap to Leclerc is coming down. But, I mean, simultaneously, Leclerc is closing up on Eaglin. It's crazy. This race is kind of a bit of an accordion as it comes together. And down the stretch, no less. You don't often see 4 riders within a shot to win this moto with 3.5 minutes and 2 laps to go. But that's what we're looking at right now. Oh, Gebhardt, a little front-end tuck. It's going to cost him some time. Leclerc down to 4.6 at one point there on Eaglin out front. Jumping down the hill, you can see they're experimenting with a little bit beyond the track boundaries. 1.7 seconds. This is going to be an absolute burner of a lap here for Gebhardt. A 59.4. Walter Gebhardt resets fast lap of the race and immediately goes down. Pushing too hard, the rear end kicks out. And now Lang gets sideways coming past the mechanics area. This is a sign of the track coming up and biting these guys. It's getting a little bit rough out there. Even Leclerc getting a bit sideways as Eaglin tries to work through the lap traffic. And man, just as Gebhardt had done some ridiculous stuff, he goes down again while in 4th. And that's going to cost him 4th there as Fjellberg goes by. But he's still got quite a bit of time back to Robert Wilson. So now you can see it really unraveling here for Gebhardt, who still might have had a shot at winning this thing. So, 2 minutes on the clock and 2 laps after that. Colby Eaglin is your race leader. Alexis Leclerc is 4 seconds behind him in 2nd, and 2 seconds behind him in 3rd is Tyler Lang. And you know what? Give credit where credit's due. Dennis Fjellberg is not necessarily way out of this thing either, and he's got Gebhardt behind him. So if things get linked up at the front and it gets a little dicey between everybody, don't count Fjellberg or Gebhardt just out of this race yet. So this is very close between all these guys. It's Eaglin coming to the top of the hill. Look at this is the gap right there. That's Eaglin. That's Cole Gress, I think, a lapped rider. There's Leclerc, and there is Lang. So that is how close your top 3 are right now. And they are going to have time, plenty time on the clock this time by, which means 3 to go. 3-second gap. Leclerc. It's now just 6 seconds back to Lang off the lead. He is the fastest rider on the track, and I think he might be about to reset his best of the race again. He just did a 2:02 flat, and he has been pushing up to Leclerc this entire time. All the while, Leclerc pushing up to your race leader, Eaglin. Lang 204.1, 204.9 out of Leclerc, 206.9 out of Eaglin. This is getting close. Who is going to be the first to break? 30 seconds on the clock. Time about to expire. 3 laps to go at High Point. 450 Moto 1, round 3 of the 2021 RaceFactory Gaming National Championship in MX Simulator. And Lang has caught Leclerc. And this is going to be big championship-wise to chip some points away from the defending champion if he can. But Lang getting a little wayward there. And then kind of shorts the double. So just as he got to Leclerc, he made a small mistake, and that cost him some time. Meanwhile, Leclerc working around the 35 there of Roy Mitchell. And Eaglin dropping down the hill just ahead. I think that's one of the Underground RC Cowies and maybe an atom.com Cowie, or maybe they're both atom.com Cowies. It's tough to tell who's who in there. But here is Eaglin. And then right behind him, it's Caleb Hall and Adam Holmes. So, yeah. And there's Leclerc going by Holm. And here comes Lang down the hill behind them. This is tightening up. 2-lap board coming out this time by. Time has expired. And we see Eaglin just up the road. Eaglin, Leclerc, and Lang. Your top 3 are nearly nose to tail. And it's going to be an all-out sprint with 2 to go coming up this time by. Who is going to win 450 Moto 1 at High Point? It is on. Eaglin, Leclerc, Lang dropping down the hill. And Leclerc has absolutely caught Eaglin. There's almost nothing in it now as they come to the top before the finish line jump. Slowly but surely, Leclerc is eating away at this lead. And finally, he reaps the benefits. He has caught Eaglin. Oh, Lang down before the finish line jump. He's caught up with Roy Mitchell and Caleb Hall. I think that might be on the 561. Jeremy Cohenauer on the 20 goes by. And it might be a 2-horse race down to the flag. But, of course, if these two get together, Lang is still within a shot. Only 10 seconds down. What is going to happen between these two, though? That is the crucial point of this. Leclerc has just been inching up to him. But it's one thing to catch Colby Eaglin. It's another thing to pass Colby Eaglin. And he has been really good at the front here. Two laps to go at High Point. Eaglin to the outside. Now cuts back inside to defend. Leclerc looking for an opportunity. Both of them triple up to the inside lane, clean in that inside rut. That one's been dug out pretty well. A mistake for Leclerc. Eaglin catching some lap traffic, though, here. One of them is a Phil's KTM. It might be Devin Davis. I couldn't quite get the number. Or is it Jacob Hubbard, perhaps, actually? Yeah, it's Hubbard on the 11. So Eaglin catching up to Jacob Hubbard, who he battled with much of this year indoors on a 250. And Hubbard just going to move right out of the way and let them continue their battle. Another rider going down. So where is it going to come to a head? Can Eaglin keep this gap steady? Can Leclerc make something happen? Leclerc made a little bit of a bobble in the background, and that cost him some time. Eaglin also got a little sketchy coming out of that corner, but Leclerc made a much bigger mistake. And that gap has kind of opened up again, so Eaglin has some breathing room to work with, but it is very minimal at least. As the white flag is going to wave here at High Point. 1 lap to go in 450 Moto 1. Who is going to get this win? Down past the mechanics area. Eaglin opening up a small gap. Lang is still back here in third in case anything happens with these two out front, but Leclerc is not close enough right now to do something about it. He's got to get these first couple sections really good and hope for an opportunity in the back half of the track. His outside line has worked really well for him. He's going to gain a little bit of time back right there, I think, on Eaglin. And then Eaglin hopping to this inside, gets it so smooth, but Leclerc got it a little bit better. Eaglin to the outside. Leclerc elects to go far inside, and he is right there again. Leclerc is going to go to the inside. Eaglin to the outside. Leclerc to the lead. Just like that, Leclerc took 3 corners to make it happen. He sized it all up, and Eaglin had no answer. So now does he have a response? Can he make something happen on the defending champion? It's got to come here in these next couple corners. Leclerc, mistake. Eaglin launches to the outside. They're bar to bar to the next corner. Leclerc shuts the door hard and gets the inside line at the top of the hill. That might have been Eaglin's chance, though, because he's actually lost some ground because of it. Rider down on the inside. They both just avoid him. Leclerc and Eaglin, this could come to blows. And don't forget, Lang is still back there. Just like 3 more corners really left in this thing. Eaglin charging hard, putting the pressure on Leclerc, trying to force a mistake, but he's so unheated out front. Look at this charge. Eaglin, he does not go for the big jump down the hill. Where does he do it? Leclerc off track, back on. Kind of blew the line, though. Eaglin gets it a little bit better at the bottom of the hill. It's going to be a drive up the hill. Eaglin sideways. Leclerc into the final turn. Alexis Leclerc wins 450 Moto 1 at High Point. Eaglin second, 1.7 seconds down. And Lang crosses in third, 7 seconds off at the flag. Unbelievable finish to that one. Leclerc connected 3 of the most impressive corners there to get it done. Dennis Fjellberg looks like he'll come home in 4th. Luke Magnetti should be 5th here. And Walter Gebhardt slides back to 6th, but it looks like he will actually finish this moto. Chase Blakely running in 7th. Daniel Mills has moved up into 8th. Robert Wilson has slipped back to 9th, and Jeremy Smith currently rounds out the top 10. Oh, Jeremy Smith down, so Devin Davis is going to go by him for 10th. And Jack Haley also through for 11th. Matthias Janis here in 12th. Cade Matherly, Jeremy Smith side by side for 13th. Oh, almost contact, and Matherly goes down on the inside. So Smith around the outside gets it done. So indeed it was Magnetti 5th, Gebhardt 6th, Blakely 7th. Then Daniel Mills in 8th. 9th crosses the line. It's Robert Wilson. 10th should come over any second now. Jack Haley got around Devin Davis. Wow, so Jack Haley going to put a 2-stroke in the top 10 here. Nicely done for Jack Haley. Devin Davis ends up in 11th. Matthias Janis will be 12th. Jeremy Smith will be 13th here. Cade Matherly, 14th for him. 15th for Braden Carter, coming from literally dead last in this one to finish up in 15th here. And 16th will be Kyle Carpenter, last guy on the lead lap. Caden Speck was 17th a lap down. Austin Barron 18th, Casey Ohlert 19th, and Braden Castellaneta was 20th. Hey, first 250 moto came down to cuts. Let's see if this one does. 1.7 seconds in between Leclerc and Eagland. No, it stays the same. Eagland actually lost a little bit of ground. Let's run through the order and see cuts. Castellaneta jumps around Ohlert and Bear on cuts for 18th. Everything else stayed the same. Leclerc, your winner here, 450 Moto number 1. And get that cleaned up. Back here. Welcome back to the studio here at Start Your Systems. Kellen Brower bringing you guys the action here in 450 Moto number 1. Now done and dusted, and 250 Moto number 2 coming up next. We saw a Lawyer win in the first one with that one. Nathan Prynne got the job done, even though he finished second in the moto right behind Payson Johnson. Johnson had almost 4 seconds of cuts, and Prynne gets the dub there. So we'll see if Prynne can go 1-1 on the day and stop this streak that Johnson has started the season on a hot one here, or will Johnson continue to win every overall in the season by winning the second moto here today, or will somebody else step up and make it happen? How's everybody in chat doing tonight? Devin Davis finally broke the 4 consecutive 12th place finishes. He went 12, 12, 12, 11 to start the year. Race was awesome. Yeah, that was a really fun race. Derek Jones, he's stoked. Jarrett Gasky, what's up? How are you? Gotta love the Kenny wallpaper. Yeah, OG one right there behind this MX Simulator one. This is it's a Todd Gutierrez special edition. My buddy from the NoCal. Let's see. Some close finishes. KR Money, yeah, definitely. Good last couple of laps, says Tixry. Definitely. Do you know if Zach will be racing this weekend? Zach Osborne? We think so, but it's very, very up in the air right now. Yeah. Adam Holm, he was just kind of far down the order. I know he's not playing on his own computer tonight, so I don't think he finished in the points, but yeah, just a little bit further down the order. Griffin Cumbridge, Kellenby looking cute, no cap. Hey, I'll try my best. Model life. Need some water, though. Throat's a little clogged up here. Much better. Prin, Johnson, Hunt, Cochran, Sullivan, top 5 first moto. Thank you for the refresher, KR. Money. Yeah, these guys are insane. Ashton Palmer, insane the pace these guys hold on in video game. It's kind of incredible. J-Mart back this weekend confirmed. I thought he was taking time off and got the surgery. Drink some of that wah-wah, baby. Yeet, yeet. All right, who is going to get the Moto2 win, and more importantly, the overall win on the day? Derek Jones thinks it's going to be Prin 1-1. A fast lap for this track. These guys are, I mean, low twos, 201, 2 flat. Saw 159 in that last moto for the 450s. Shred the Nar confirmed, absolutely. BGB's permaband, rest in peace. The fam's doing great. Missing my daughter going to bed right now, though. I think they're probably putting her to sleep right now. And here we go. 250 Moto Dos coming up. See if I nail this timer again. Yeah, it's so sick to be able to speak to riders and stuff like that. Like, it was always a dream of mine to do that when I was younger, so I have a freaking blast doing it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for 250 Moto 2, and it starts right now live on Start Your Systems. Well, we were looking at Jonathan Alexander. He got swallowed up a little bit, but it's going to be Nathan Prin again with the hole shot. Studio 8 hole shot award goes to Prin. He's got Logan Leitzel, his teammate, right behind him, and a host of other riders. I do not see the number 1 mixed in this group early on, so this could be good news for Prin if he's trying to get away early. So Prin lays it in a little bit sideways. Oh, Leitzel lays it into, is that Seth Shirley perhaps going down in the background? So Prin, Leitzel, Neil Fitzpatrick, Casey Cochran, Lane Wofford, and then Payson Johnson. So Johnson did get a pretty decent start. He's kind of mixed into this top 10, trying to go around Wofford for 5th right now. Johnson charging up the back of Lane Wofford and going to go up the inside to make that pass. Luke Sullivan also got a good start as well, so good to see him turn it around here in this second moto, but Nathan Prin is trying to get the heck out of here as fast as he can. Leitzel, Fitzpatrick, Cochran, and then Johnson all jumping down the hill behind with Wofford in tow, and then Sullivan off the back of that. Rasmus Balzer, the very fast rider on the number 50 motorsport.com machine, is buried early on in this one. So it's looking like it's going to be a tough road for him. Johnson already putting so much pressure on Cochran, as first lap will be led by Nathan Prynn as he charges away out front down past the mechanics area. So Leitzel still second, Fitzpatrick third, Cochran fourth, and Johnson right there in fifth. We got Johnson trying to go inside on Cochran, trying to get that rear tire planted, then switches back to the outside. Not able to get it just yet. It's interesting to see none of these 250 guys able to do the Carmichael double. They must just not be able to get enough drive out of the inside of those corners. Johnson to the outside this time, trying to get around Cochran. He's going to end up on the inside here. Cochran trying to swoop the outside to stay ahead of him. He might just do it into this next corner. They're bar to bar coming down the hill. No, Johnson through, and Cochran tucks the front wheel and goes down. So Johnson up to fourth. Meanwhile, Neil Fitzpatrick putting all kinds of pressure onto Logan Leitzel here for second. Fitzpatrick, remember, he charged all the way up and ended up 10th in the first moto, thanks to a little bit of late crashing there. And Fitzpatrick also finished third on Monday in MX2 Race 1. Disappointing 13th in the second race, but definitely had the speed to run up front in Matterley Basin earlier this week. So let's see what he can do with a good start here at High Point in Moto 2. Johnson already trying to creep back up into this picture. He lost a little bit of time battling with Casey Cochran, but he is not wasting too much time to try to sneak into this group. Prynn is not getting away either. These guys are keeping him pretty close. He's definitely not gotten away as much as I maybe thought he could. Leitzel and Fitzpatrick, no slouch though, of course. And here comes Payson Johnson to the outside of Fitzpatrick and takes down the 71. That was kind of a racing incident. Two lines coming together, but Johnson threw it into third, and he is on the charge. A 2:03.6 last time by. That most certainly will be the fastest lap of the race, a 2:04.3 out of Prynn. And he's trying to close up here onto the back of Logan Leitzel. There it is, Johnson, Carmichael double to the outside like we saw Leclerc do, but then he didn't get the doubles down the hill nearly as clean. Yeah, Chase, I was talking to Luke about this earlier today, and I'm not really sure. I had all your skins for GPs on Monday, and I swear I downloaded everything, and I talked to Luke today about it. I re-downloaded a bunch of stuff he told me to download in that pack. You guys have like 10 things on that link, so it's tough to tell like what's new and what I actually need to download, but I downloaded everything Luke said, and I guess maybe I put it in the wrong folder or something. I don't know why I don't have your guys' stuff, because I feel like I've downloaded the PPC skins like 10 times. But I'm trying, dude. I'll try to get it again this week. As Johnson down the inside, gonna get around Leitzel. Oh, Leitzel almost jumped into the back of him. And wow, they just jumped by. And actually, this is for the lead because Prynn went down. I didn't see where he was, but he's moved back into second as Leitzel went down. So just like that, Payson Johnson is out front and Nathan Prynn is in second. So you got Johnson, Prynn, Cochran is the new top three after the crashing. Lane Watford fourth. Leitzel slips back to fifth after his fall. Phil Bull is now sixth. Luke Sullivan coming up the hill in seventh. Thomas Wilcox in eighth. Dylan Cavacuti running in ninth. Neil Fitzpatrick 10th. Jeremy Siebold in 11th. Much better start this time for the 9. Ryan Pinkerton, Jonathan Alexander, Alec Horn all coming down the hill as well. A rider off track, that's Wilcox. Thomas Wilcox on the 33. Off the side of the track, just getting going there behind Alec Horn. And Jonathan Alexander just ahead of that. So you see this group all jockeying for positions here in the early runnings. But it is Johnson out front. Now, is this another situation, though, where Prin, like we saw in the first moto, Johnson got away for a little while from the number 42 machine, and eventually Prin started kind of eating the time back away, and then Johnson made some mistakes in some lap traffic, and before long, Prin caught him, but couldn't actually get around him before the finish line jump. Still won the moto, though, based on the penalties applied after the race to Pace and Johnson. But I wonder if that's a similar situation we'll see in this moto, where Johnson kind of sneaks away in the early runnings, and once Prince settles into a pace, he starts putting down some blistering laps, and it pulls him back up to him. And again, another factor in all this is that Johnson was the guy in the first moto that hit lap traffic first every time. And I just feel like when you hit lap traffic... Oh, Johnson just went down! Johnson down with the lead, and Prin is back by! So just like that, that changes it around again, because Prin will be the one to do this from the front, unlike the first moto. So is Johnson, as the chaser, going to kind of show his strength here and just straight up catch Prin on pace alone in the beginning half of this race? This will be an interesting dynamic to see how this shapes up compared to what we saw in the first moto, no question about it. Oh, Johnson down again! Oh, he got sideways on the finish line jump, and he landed sideways and immediately hit his head on the ground and has the legs off. And now he is back to 5th, it looks like. Excuse me, 4th, behind Cochran and Leitzel. So Pace and Johnson falling apart a little bit here early on. And this could be the day that finally someone chunks some points back away from him. Johnson entered tonight 22 points up in the championship. It was already looking kind of bleak based on the pace that we saw this year out of him. After that first moto, the gap is, of course, down to 19 based on the 3 points that Prin gained on him. But you got another moto like this in the books, and maybe even if Johnson doesn't finish second, you get some extra points added onto it. Never know, but Cochran just went down, gives 3rd place back. And coming through, that is Luke Sullivan, alongside the 98 of Phil Bull, Neil Fitzpatrick, and then Cochran getting on behind them. So 4-rider train developing here, and a much better start to this moto for Sullivan. Sullivan came from outside of the points, somewhere in the 30s, we think, to finish 5th in the first moto. He definitely has the pace to run up front, but he actually hasn't done too much with a good start here just yet. He's moved up to 4th now, but he's kind of lost the toe of the front group. And Prin stretching it out front. He's still fairly close to that battle for second between Leitzel and Pace and Johnson, but Sullivan's got to pick up the pace maybe a little bit more to try to get into that mix. A little 3-rider battle maybe developing behind him, or a 2-rider battle perhaps between Cochran and Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick trying to go up the inside. Cochran uses the outside line and gets that pass done. So next up, Phil Bull on the 98 ahead of these guys. So 3rd of this race is done. A lot of racing still left here in 250 Moto number 2. Up the inside, Cochran trying to show Phil Bull a nose there, but can't quite get it in. Now goes to the outside in this corner, turns into the inside here, but they funnel into that same line. Roll, then double, double, double again, and double once more. 4 doubles coming down the hill. And man, Fitzpatrick is still right there on Cochran, not wanting to let these guys go. They're kind of all losing touch with Luke Sullivan, but now Fitzpatrick just got around Cochran. And Fitzpatrick jumping up the inside here, trying to get to make the pass there on the 98 of Phil Bull, and he does. And Cochran also trying to get Phil Bull. He will make that pass stick as well. So Phil Bull kind of getting shuffled back here a little bit. And Fitzpatrick seems like he is the one on the move right now. Inside move for the 98. Cochran still dealing with the pressure from behind. Phil Bull not letting him get out of his sights. But Cochran ideally would like to just focus ahead on Fitzpatrick. Then you got Sullivan fourth, Leitzel third, and Johnson is back through and into second place. So where are we gap-wise? A 2:05.1, 11-second lead for Nathan Prynn. Johnson lays down a 2:02.6 to reset his best lap of the race. Still not the fastest lap of the race just yet, though. Prynn at 2:02.4 was his best. I got a question from Zach T460 in chat asking, why is Seabolt racing 250s? I think it's really just a matter of him wanting to. Yeah, like in the outdoors, there's not a defined rule compared to Supercross. Like the Supercross champions and anybody really that's ever pointed out of the 250 class can race 250 outdoors, which is the rule in real life. So, for example, if Eli Tomac wanted to drop down for the rest of the year and race for Pro Circuit Kawasaki, he wouldn't. But if he wanted to, he could. There's no rule breaking going on there. He can't do that in Supercross, though. There's a pointing out rule in Supercross, which is why you see guys move up or move down depending on how things go. That's the same thing for Sim. There's a point out rule for Supercross in the game. I think it's something in the realm of scoring so many points and so many years. I forget exactly the rule. But Seabolt's perfectly allowed to drop back down and race 250s if he wants, and sometimes those guys prefer to race 250s outdoors. We saw for a while there, actually, there was a guy, I can't remember his name, that always raced 450s indoors but then 250s outdoors. So just kind of depends on what you like. So Johnson, that gap is kind of stagnated at that 11-second mark. He's not really put too much time towards Prynn, as we were on board with Prynn there for a little bit. Leitzel there in third, Sullivan fourth, Fitzpatrick fifth, Cochran still sixth, Phil Bull behind him seventh, Lane Wofford here in eighth. It's been right in the mix all day long and might even be catching up to Phil Bull a little bit here. Ryan Pinkerton in ninth on the AEO Power Sports number 395, and Jonathan Alexander runs 10th. We'll stick with this battle for a second, but I also want to tell you folks about atom.com. They're going to bring you the rest of this top 20 rundown halfway through 250 Moto number 2. That's AYETOM.com. If you head over there today, he's been supporting us with some hot lap videos on the streams this year. You can check out his merch line and all of his music that he's been working on over there. Of course, Adam Holm always racing the scene here in the 450 classes. Alec Horn and Alexander go down, and they're right in the middle of the track. That's a tough spot, and yes, of course, Alex Kerr, nowhere to go, hits Alec Horn. Alec Horn still trying to get up. Now Cavacuti hits him. They're trying to get out of the way and finally get going. But let's again go back and try to finish this top 20 rundown brought to you by atom.com. So Ryan Pinkerton was 9th. That's the last one we saw. Frank Jackson now slides into 10th on the 47 Team NAMI effort. 11th for Blake Wickland on the AEO Power Sports number 13. 12th for Thomas Wilcox on the C4 Designs number 33. 13th for Jonathan Alexander on that Phil's KTM number 148. It's 14th for Alec Horn on the AEO Power Sports number 310. And right behind him in 15th is Alex Kerr on the number 84 Jack Daniels Racing Machine. 16th is Dylan Cavacuti on the Underground RC number 94. I think I have this right still. Adrian Wilson, 17th on the Yogi Designs number 759. 18th for Seth Crotty on the 131. I think that is Proline Designs Machine. 19th for Garrett Hollenbeck on the number 70 Phil's KTM. And 20th is Braden Tharp on the EVP number 415. Here's a bit of a shock halfway through 250 Moto 2. Cooper Hunt outside of the points. Cooper Hunt on the Covenant number 38 has been very strong all season long and a model of consistency. This is by far the worst moto we've seen of him, and one of the worst starts to a moto we've also seen out of him as well. He has not got a great jump out of the gate, it seems, and has been having to battle his way through the field. So the man that ran up front and finished inside the top 5 in Moto 1 is now sitting back here outside of the points trying to work his way forward. Got reports that the battle for the lead is happening, and it is definitely closing up. Johnson is all over Prin here in the next couple laps, I think. 2:05.3 to 2:13.1. Prin just went down, and he just blew the first turn as well. Johnson's going to get it clean, and it's going to tighten up. Scrub that. Double down the hill. Prin, another little mistake. Johnson's going to get right there. And we have got a hot and heavy battle for the lead on our hands here at High Point. Nathan Prin versus Payson Johnson in the second half of 250 Moto 2. And this is for the overall win as well. Johnson, oh man, Prin was sideways. I thought Johnson might hit him. Now Johnson's trying to jump up the inside. They nearly make contact. I think they perhaps did. And Johnson jumps around Prin to take over the race lead. Now does Prin have a response here? It's not lost touch with the number 1 just yet. And Johnson lays it over sideways. They both launch way down the hill there. Got a quick question that I want to answer in chat by Garrett West. Says, only can watch one for the rest of your life. Are you watching AMA, Moto, or MXGP? My answer is MXGP, but that's because we can still watch Supercross. Now, I mean, seriously speaking, I think MXGP actually, like, it's just got, like, better... It's a better motocross series, in my opinion. Not, like, better riders and a better run or anything like that. I just think that the product on track, because you have guys that are so dedicated to testing motocross, ends up being just more enticing to watch, because the technical ability that they have on the track when they race each other is insane. But because of that, like, I also like watching Supercross more than I like watching Pro Motocross, just because, again, same thing. Most of these guys train like 8 months out of the year for Supercross, and because of that, their technical ability on Supercross is just so interesting and so fun to watch. So I like watching Supercross more than I like watching AMA Motocross, and I like watching MXGP more than I like watching AMA Motocross, just because of the technical ability that you see in the series for GPs. So that would be my answer there. Payson Johnson and Nathan Prin still nose to tail. Then you got Leitzel, Fitzpatrick, Phil Bull inside of the top 5. Cochran still here in 6th, with Sullivan sliding back to 7th. So Luke Sullivan having some problems here. Lane Wofford a little bit behind them. Sullivan going to try to sneak up the inside of Cochran. Just pushes him out and then tucks the front wheel and goes down. So Wofford will go back by. And Sullivan not having as strong of a second moto here, it seems. Meanwhile, Cochran is being caught by that Wofford and Sullivan group a little bit. So this might turn into a 3-rider battle before long. Oh, Cochran just sideways there off the side of the track. Oh, Sullivan, a big case there. And here comes Cochran to the outside. This might turn into some blows at the top of the hill. Oh, Cochran ends up backwards on the track. I think there was some contact and it spun him around. So Sullivan and Wofford still pretty close here. Then Phil Bull, Fitzpatrick, Leitzel, Prin, and Johnson. And Johnson has certainly started to stretch it out now on Prin. 2:03.6 to a 2:09.2 last time by. So that last lap alone was pretty much a 6-second advantage, and that is all the difference right now. It's a 7-second lead for Johnson, and Prin is going to need some help in perhaps the form of some lap traffic again. See if I find a battle. Here we go. Sullivan catching back up to Wofford. in a battle for 7th, I believe this is. Looks like Jeremy Siebold is out of this moto again. Excuse me, this is actually the battle for 6th. Wofford running in that 6th spot on the 181 Underground RC Kawasaki. And Sullivan right behind him. Then Casey Cochran, Thomas Wilcox, Ryan Pinkerton. Everybody's kind of spread out in this moto. There's not a lot of close battling. This is maybe our closest one inside of the top 15. Still has a lot of potential, though, to tighten up down the stretch here, of course. 7.5 minutes plus 2 laps still remain. Up to the top of the hill, and Wofford's actually kind of sneaking away from Sullivan a little bit here. So Sullivan not quite able to figure it out as much as he was in the first moto in terms of a pace, it seems like. Now he's catching back up to Wofford again. They're still right there on Cochran on the 90. They're not too far behind him. Just as soon as Sullivan closes up a little bit, it seems like Wofford then stretches it back out a little bit. And actually, it's Phil Bull on the 98, excuse me, that's just ahead of them. Cochran is behind this group, that's correct. Here we go, Sullivan down the inside on the downhill. Does he make this inside line work, though? It's tough. It doesn't quite hook as well. Wofford is still right there. It's a drag race to the top of the hill. Sullivan scrubs the bejesus. See if anything happens here in these next couple laps with this group. That's a lapped rider moving out of the way. I think that's a 427 machine. Phil Bull definitely coming under attack, though, as Sullivan and Lane Wofford close right up onto him. 3-rider battle at the top of this hill. Jumping down back to the quad jump here. Phil Bull, oh, kind of dualies. I hate to call dualies unless someone really tosses it, like Sullivan did. So you got to have two people that just really, they're trying to whip. They're trying to have fun. Sullivan scrubs it down, rider down, contact, and Phil Bull, what a save and a half for the 98. Unfortunately, he loses 2 spots because of it, as the 520, I think that is, no, sorry, 593 getting out of the way. Just was in the wrong spot at the wrong time right there, and Phil Bull got caught up in it. So next up, Sullivan going to try to focus up on Neil Fitzpatrick for this 4 spot. Leitzel lonely third for the 13. And, oh, here we go, battle for the lead. Print has caught Johnson. I'm not sure, maybe Johnson just went down. But it is on at the front. Just over 4 minutes and 2 laps still to go. And Johnson again has to respond to this pressure. Print has been here all day pestering him. The rider out of France on the Phils, KTM number 42. Big jump up the hill and then sneaking up the inside. Print is giving him everything he can handle. Johnson was way backwards right there. I thought he was OJing for sure, but it turns out Print was just short, and Print just got really sideways coming down the hill, but a nice save by the 42. So Johnson now has a little bit of breathing room, and that might be enough for him to stretch it out just a bit here at least. Oh, now Print goes down. Tucks the front end in the sweeper. Pushing hard, trying to match that pace. And it just comes unglued a little bit. So Leitzel now still here in third, and then Fitzpatrick with Sullivan closing behind him. And Wofford still right there, and then Phil Bull coming down the hill. Wilcox is in the mix. Cochran has basically lost touch with this group at this point. So which battle is going to commence first? Can Sullivan get to Fitzpatrick? Is Wofford going to get back to Sullivan, perhaps? Only so much time left in this race. Fitzpatrick trying to hold on for a very strong result here in this one with a 4th. And it looks like that gap is open. Sullivan opened ahead of Wofford. Again, everybody kind of spread out this moto. Here's a Cooper Hunt check-in, though. He's up to 14th at a 206 flat last time by. So trying his best to salvage some points this moto, but he is going to lose a big chunk of them. After yet another strong first moto, but this time it's finally a bit of a chink in the armor, if you will, for him. There we go. Sullivan onto Fitzpatrick. Seemed like it was inevitable at the pace Sullivan was running here these last few laps that Fitzpatrick was going to get caught. And now it basically boils down to whether or not Sullivan can actually make the pass happen. He's been kind of close to Fitzpatrick on a couple occasions and then makes a mistake or two and loses touch, and he's already made a couple of those same mistakes. Now Fitzpatrick has a little mistake, and Sullivan going to take advantage, close up right onto his back tire again here. Both those guys getting that triple to the inside, and Fitzpatrick just got sideways. And that is going to be the pass done for Sullivan in a 4th. So Luke Sullivan back into 4th. He's a little bit too far away from Leitzel to think about that. Prince still 2nd, and Johnson going up the hill in the lead. And there is going to be just over 30 seconds still on the clock, so 3 laps to go now. Oh, Prin down with Seth Shirley at the bottom of the hill. Seth Shirley having a rough second moto here. And Prin now has pretty much all but lost a chance at winning this moto, aside from a absolute implosion out of Payson Johnson. And lap traffic still wreaking a bit of havoc here. The 174 of Dylan Love trying to get out of the way, allows Prin through. Shirley is just following him as well. Leitzel, Sullivan, Wofford, Fitzpatrick. So Fitzpatrick, another mistake, and Wofford has gotten by. Then Phil Bull and Wilcox. And it seems like Wilcox has slowly been closing up on Phil Bull here for the last few laps or so. Both of them kind of high center at the bottom, and then Wilcox rides the inside of the corner and lays it over. That is Lap Rider coming up the hill behind him. So not quite for position. Trying to find ourselves a battle somewhere. Everybody's so spread apart. I think this is last points bank position here. Adrian Wilson. And they have lapped up to 17th. Alec Horn just went a lap down. Johnson just ahead of him there up the road. So 2-lap board about to come out, and Payson Johnson looking to remain perfect for overalls on the season. He has not won every moto, that's for sure, but he is 2 for 2 in overalls and might be 3 for 3 with a 2-1 performance today. Nathan Prin well behind now, so it's a Johnson showdown to the end. And with time expired, this 2-lap board is coming on out. So Johnson from Prin, Leitzel, Sullivan, Wofford in the top 5. Fitzpatrick 6th, Phil Bull 7th, Cochran 8th, Wilcox 9th, and Wickland in 10th has caught up to Thomas Wilcox. Blake Wickland on the AEO Power Sports machine has been solid all day long. don't believe he is national number 13, but he's got it on his bike. Let's see what number he's running in the game. 113. So yeah, that makes more sense. Looks like maybe Wilcox had just slid back into his clutches a little bit, because now he's pretty quickly opened that gap back up on him. Frank Jackson back here, Ryan Pinkerton, Jonathan Alexander. Cooper Hunt, is he still 14th? Yeah, but he's catching Jonathan Alexander. Might get up to 13th before this is over. Braden Tharp, Seth Crotty, Dylan Cavacuti, and Alec Horn going at it for 18th, I think this is. So a couple points paying positions. Every point counts. So even a pass like this is still could be huge down the road. Dropping back down bottom of the valley again, and oh, Horn gets sideways and goes down. He was in 18th. Adrian Wilson and Garrett Hollenbeck are going to get there, I think, just as he gets going. Yeah, just onto the track ahead of those guys, and they're battling for 19th right now. So, hey, there we go. Just at the back of points, we finally found a couple battles here. White flag is waving for race leader Payson Johnson, who's ahead of this group, so these guys are all a lap down. But, of course, they will also get the white flag right here. Garrett Hollenbeck trying to make something happen on Alec Horn. Not quite able to get there just yet, though. See if that battle materializes anymore before the flag. Jonathan Alexander, Cooper Hunt. So Hunt did get around Alexander. Another position gained right there. I think that's 12th now for him. And suddenly, a little battle for second brewing here between teammates, Nathan Prynn and Logan Leitzel. So Logan Leitzel has came to play here in this second moto. Of course, up front, it is the Payson Johnson show. He is gone out front. He's not actually too far out front. There's like 16 seconds or so. Oh, what, 37? Really? That's 37 seconds? No, okay, he must have just went down. That did not look like 37 seconds of track. Leitzel, is he going to make this pass on his teammate here? Prynn is in the thick of the championship fight, really. That's what you want to call it. I mean, he's going to still leave here 22 points down at least of Johnson, but remains second in the championship as it runs. Dropping down the hill, and lap traffic in play a little bit here. I think that's the Kerman. Meanwhile, Payson Johnson bringing us down here. Last couple turns for him. We're keeping an eye on this battle, though. Prynn and Leitzel going at it. Meanwhile, out front, Payson Johnson going to bring it up the hill one more time, and the streak will stay alive. He's going to win the second moto here at High Point, but more importantly, Payson Johnson is 3 for 3 on overalls in 2021. Nathan Prynn trying to hold off his teammate. Leitzel tried an alternate line at the bottom of the hill. I think it's just not going to work, though. Into the last corner, Prynn is going to tie Johnson on points for the day, but end up second overall with a 1-2. It's the third place finish there for Leitzel. 6/10 down at the end, so you never know with cuts. Luke Sullivan, amazing salvage ride in the first moto. The second moto is up and down a little bit, but he will end up finishing fourth and go 5-4 on the day, so get some good points there. And Lane Wofford, who has been kind of the center of our attention today, he has been in many, many battles, and he will bring this one home in fifth. A solid ride for the Underground RC number 181. Neil Fitzpatrick settles into sixth in this one. 7th for Phil Bull on the 98 Team Vulcan machine. It's going to be 8th for Thomas Wilcox on that number 33 C4 Designs Gas. 9th for Casey Cochran on the BPC number 90. And 10th is Blake Wickland on the AEO Power Sports number 113. Frank Jackson had almost caught him from 11th on the team Nami number 47, but just couldn't quite get there in time. So Wickland holds on for 10th. Frank Jackson should be 11th. Cooper Hunt did indeed get all the way up to 12th, so I think it coupled with his 3rd in the first moto, but he's somewhere inside the top 10, perhaps 6th overall. Well, actually just went down, so he's not going to end up 12th in this moto because Ryan Pinkerton is close enough to pass him. So just needed to make it a couple corners, and now Pinkerton goes down. So excuse me, Hunt is going to hold on for 12th. Instead, Pinkerton trying to right the ship here as Jonathan Alexander comes down the hill. Slowly but surely for the Phil's KTM machine. And he will end up here behind Pinkerton. Pinkerton crosses 13th. Alexander will be 14th. Braden Tharp will be 15th here. Seth Crotty charging into the last corner, trying to get him. Wow, got pretty close. 0.094 at the flag. Dylan Cavacuti ends up 17th, cuts her in. Behind that, it was Hollenbeck, Wilson, Horn, and they stayed the same. Crotty does indeed jump Tharp on cuts. And the rest stays the same. Payson Johnson, your winner here tonight at High Point. And back to our intermission screen. Hanging out in the chickadee chat with y'all. Hope everybody's having a lovely night. Top 3 overall. Thank you, KR Money, again, so much for always being in here and providing these. Payson Johnson 2-1, Nathan Prin 1-2, and Logan Leitzel 6-3 is your official podium on the day. All right, so just one race remains here tonight. It's 450 Moto number 2. Whew. So how is everybody doing in the chat? Lynn Holt says, when I watch MXGP, I nearly fall asleep, not because of the race, but because of the commentator. In the National Supercross or MotoGP, you have announcers that are either ex-pros or have comedic announcement style. Hate to break it to you, Lynn Holt, but Paul Malin is an ex-pro. Won the 1994 Motocross the Nations with Great Britain. Many-time 125 Grand Prix winner. And a lot of people find him pretty entertaining, if you ask me. But to each their own. What's up, Morin? How are you? What's up, Evan McLeod? What's going on? Faux Fatty Moto 2 coming up. Kirby commentator, yeah. I don't know. I think Paul Malin does a good job. Dude is really well researched and provides entertainment. He's pretty funny sometimes at the way he yells at his own director. But to each their own, like I said. Got the wah-wah. I mean, I agree that sometimes having one commentator can be a bit dry and boring. I'm working on having Andrew Wood come back and do stuff in booth with me soon. And I'm actually going to have KR Money guest co-host a stream possibly next week. So that'll be some fun. Honestly, since A-Wood has started doing the in-studio stuff with me, I just haven't really enjoyed doing the Discord co-broadcast because you don't see the same things. So you're always yelling different things and talking about different riders and stuff like that, and it can get tough. So when you see the same thing on the screen, I personally think it's a little bit better. Don't even have Simmons still like watching this. Hey, I dig that, Liam. That's sick. Yo, Sour Patch 71, what's up? Fetellini Brothers. How do you upgrade Snapshot on MX Sim? If you go to startyoursystems.com and check out the MX Simulator tutorial series, we have a video that perfectly explains how to update your Snapshot. Oh man, who do you think are the best riders in the world right now, whether it's MXGP, AMA, or Supercross? That's such a tough question to answer. I do think that Tim Geiser is the best motocross rider right now in the world. I think I would put him above Kenny, but I think they are 1-2 right now. And then the rest is like a crapshoot behind that. So really tough to say exactly who or what, in my opinion. If you stream it in Discord, though, it takes up bandwidth. Oh, gotta get the moto timer. That's going to be a little bit delayed, but here we go. 450 Moto 2 ready to drop the gate. One more time here at High Point. Again, Leclerc, not the best start, and it's going to be Gebhardt to the corner first, and a lot of riders hung up. That was a big first turn pileup. Leclerc overshoots at the bottom of the hill, and Gebhardt back to the lead. Several riders go by. It was officially Walter Gebhardt who takes the whole shot. Studio 8 Whole Shot Award goes to Gebhardt. So we got Gebhardt, Magnetti up front, Chase Blakely, then Leclerc, Aaron Rockefeller, Jacob Hubbard, Trent Adams, and Jack Haley. Robert Wilson, Brett Thomas, William St. Laurent, Brandon Larson, trying to find the 14. There he is, Tyler Lang, buried. That's going to be tough, and Leclerc starting out front doesn't help his case at all. Gebhardt throwing filth, so we'll see if this moto, Gebhardt actually can sprint away at the front and hold it. The one difference, though, this time is that Leclerc is a lot closer. Leclerc had to come from pretty far back. Oh, excuse me, Leclerc went down. Leclerc is not in this mix anymore. Jeremy Smith down at the bottom of the hill with Ethan Parks, and Leclerc just swung through this group. He's now just ahead of, is that Eagland right behind him? Yes, it is. So Eagland and Leclerc, who battled for the first moto win, now in 12th and 13th respectively. Yes, Jack Haley is on a two-stroke. So did that move? Yeah, Lang is a lot closer to Leclerc, but he's still buried just outside the top 20, it looks like. Just got around Adam Holm, though. All these guys trying not to go down again, really. Just last thing you want to do on the first lap is go down twice. Look at this. All these guys trying to funnel into different lines at the bottom of the hill. Leclerc got a little hung up. Eagland's around the outside trying to make another pass back on him. And they're all jumping to the top of the hill. Oh, and a little bit of a hang up, and Leclerc is completely hung up. He has nowhere to go. He has to man over Reed Young right there, kind of enduros his way across the top, and wouldn't you know it, Leclerc and Lang are running nose to tail now. Oh, big crash, Leclerc down! A big offer, Jeremy Smith on the 4 takes Leclerc to the ground, and Leclerc is going to have a lot of work to do. Watch the track re-entry right there as Smith gets going, and is that Cade Matherly back here? You also have Ruben Galvez, Adam Holm. So Leclerc now 22nd. And Gebhardt is licking his chops out front. He's got a sizable lead and no pressure from really any of the top contenders. Aaron Rockefeller is now into second on the 800 Underground RC machine. Robert Wilson third early on. It's St. Laurent in fourth. Eagland already up into fifth. Everybody so close together in the early runnings, and the last thing you want is to crash when everybody's this close together. Oh, Hubbard getting kicked around. Where is... Well, there's Haley and then Lang. I'm sorry, and then Leclerc behind Haley. I do not see Lang anymore. Oh, he's behind them, so it's all these guys linked together with Smith right there as well. Go back on board with Leclerc. He's up to 19th, and it is really tight-knit in here. Jack Haley holding ahead of Leclerc, and then Lang right behind Leclerc. So let's stick on board with Lang, actually, so you can see not only Leclerc, but Haley as well just ahead of them, and then a host of other riders. This is what it's like If you crash on the first lap of the race, it's not fun. It is stressful to be in this situation because something like what happened to Leclerc could happen to anybody. You got a rider going down in front of you and he just kind of takes you out, really. Leclerc and Lang trying to match each other's lines. You got a rider down at the bottom of the hill. That might have been Jeremy Smith, perhaps. And then you got Haley. Look at that, Trileys with 3 of the best riders in the game right now. Haley, Leclerc, and Lang. And a rider down at the bottom of the hill. That was Casey Ohlert. So Leclerc has snuck by this group. Now trying to go after Fjellberg, Mills, Davis up here. Caleb Hall, 39 of Copeland, the 11 of Hubbard. Aaron Rockefeller has drifted back into this group. Brett Thomas, Chase Blakely to the outside. Got Luke Magnetti, Robert Wilson, the BPC riders all nose to tail again as Wilson gets all kicked around. And St. Laurent, Eagland now second, and Gebhardt. Gebhardt is so far out front right now. Look at the map. Look at the track map. Look at how far Gebhardt already is out front. He's got a 20-second nearly lead. Did a 2:09. He is completely by himself on the back half of the track right now. Eagland coming up in a second, though, could be worrisome for him because Eagland has definitely got the pace. And then we've got this absolute riot of a group riders here just coming down the hill. Could go any direction with all these guys. Hubbard trying to go to the outside and launch down the hill to the outside of Rockefeller on the 800 there. And Brett Thomas, Rockefeller's teammate, gets put to the ground. So a little bit of unintentional contact perhaps there, but still never fun when teammates put you down. Daniel Mills. Now right behind Caleb Hall, then comes Leclerc and Fjellberg. So Leclerc has now moved up to 11th as the Frenchman is slicing and dicing his way forward. Fjellberg right there, and then Lang jumping into the picture behind that. Still has Haley with him. Leclerc going to try to sneak up the inside of Daniel Mills at the bottom of the hill. Nothing doing there. And this battle at the top of the hill is insane. Hubbard to the outside of Aaron Rockefeller, but Rockefeller holds true. Then Hall, Mills, Leclerc, Fjellberg, Lang, Haley, nose to tail here. Oh, Hubbard getting swapped at the bottom of the hill, blew the rut, but still held it on. Leclerc trying to go to the outside, then double to this outside of the corner, and landing on Caleb Hall as Daniel Mills flipping across the track. Hall goes, almost hits Leclerc on the way down, and because of that chaos, Lang actually jumped around Fjellberg, so he's still right behind Leclerc. I think they just moved up to 8th and 9th respectively. Oh, Leclerc down! And Lang goes by, Fjellberg through, Haley by. There goes Mills and Copeland. And here comes the 37 of Reed Young. Not going to quite get there. So Leclerc back to the drawing board once again. Behind that, Caleb Hall dealing with Jeremy Smith, Matthias Janis. There's battles everywhere inside of the points. So Lang, Fjellberg, Haley, they're still closing it together. Looks like Hubbard just got around Rockefeller. Robert Wilson, Chase Blakely coming down the hill ahead of him. Magnetti now on the back of St. Laurent. You got BPC all together here. And, of course, I'm the idiot that doesn't have their skins. But, hey, they're having a team photo shoot. They're all trying to battle each other. So it is Eagland second, and Gebhardt still leading. 2013, 21-second lead. Again, just riding all by himself out front, 8.5 minutes into this moto. Just smooth as butter, too. Look at the, just so easy. And here's this ridiculous battle for third still going on. Magnetti, St. Laurent, Blakely, they are all on top of each other. Blakely, oh, Magnetti down. And Blakely shoots by for third, so that puts St. Laurent fourth. And Robert Wilson now fifth. Jacob Hubbard sixth, Rockefeller seventh, Lang eighth, Fjellberg ninth, and Magnetti gets up in 10th on the inside of Fjellberg, though. He's going to try to get around the number 3. And will do so. Haley's right there behind. Haley trying to put a two-stroke into the top 10 twice on the day. That would be incredible. He's already done it once before, I believe. Sounds like somebody else is on a two-stroke as well, not just Haley. To go back and find out who. Meanwhile, Carpenter to the outside. I think he had something going there on Haley, but then, wow, Fjellberg and Haley get together violently. I don't know if there's something going on there, but Haley gets back on the track now behind Leclerc. That was random, to say the least. I didn't think that was going to come to blows the way it did, but it happened. So now Leclerc trying to get around Copeland. Copeland goes down, and Haley also goes down. Oh, I thought he might have landed it, but continues flipping down the hill. So Leclerc moves up to, what is that, 10th now? 10th for Leclerc. Lang ahead of him is in 6th. You still have Magnetti to get through. Camera Money in chat says, update, Brayton Carter is laying motionlessly on the starting gate right now. Asterix medical crew is attending to him, which is funny because if you don't have auto sit dab on, you'll just fall over on the starting gate, which is exactly what Carter has done here. He is AFK, but Reese was still in the server, so it loaded him onto the gate, and now he's just laid over on the gate here. And look, he's even behind me in warm-up. I'm sitting there on the gate too. Brandon Larson, Chase Donovan, Adam Holm way back here. Blake O'Brien. So yeah, Blake O'Brien, he's on the two-stroke. Trent Adams, Ethan Parks, Cade Matherly, Roy Mitchell, Jet Wisdom, Casey Ohlert, Jeremy Cohenauer, Brett Thomas, Jeremy Smith, Devin Davis, Cole Gress, and Ruben Galvez, all outside of the points right now. Reed Young is in 20th. Caden Speck in 19th. Austin Bear in 18th. 17th for Jack Haley. 16th for Caleb Hall. 15th for Dennis Fjellberg. 14th for Kyle Carpenter. Am I still doing math right? No, this is 13th. Matthias Janis, 12th. 11th for Aaron Rockefeller. 10th, now Daniel Mills. 9th for Leclerc. 8th for Magnetti. 7th for Hubbard. 6th for Lang. Maybe not for long. Up the inside. Robert Wilson there. Wilson goes way outside. Lang's going to try to get to the inside to make this pass. We're going to have some dualies. Nope, no dualies. Robert Wilson forgot to throw. But Lang did make the pass on that number 62 BPC ride and moves up into 5th. And now Wilson into the back of him, so Hubbard goes by. And here comes Leclerc. Leclerc trying to work on Robert Wilson. He's still got Luke Magnetti right behind him, so he's in a BPC sandwich. Charging up the hill. Leclerc just gets such good drive out of the inside of corners. It's insane. You can see Hubbard coming down the hill ahead of these guys. Whoa, bouncing is Robert Wilson, and Leclerc just goes around the outside of Wilson. Magnetti also got hung up off the track as Wilson slid in front of him, so Mills changes line, goes by, and there's Aaron Rockefeller as well. All right, so now just Hubbard separate Lang and Leclerc here as Lang is working on William St. Laurent. By the way, someone who would know this, is the technical correct way to pronounce this Saint Laurent? Because he is from Canada and is French-Canadian? I honestly don't know, but I would like to say his name correctly if that's how he wants it to be pronounced, but I've always said Saint Laurent. Whoa, Lang down on the back tire of Saint Laurent, and Leclerc goes by with Hubbard. Lang's going to lose 3 spots as he gets going behind Magnetti, but still ahead of Mills. And Leclerc is trying to get by Hubbard. He low lines the quad. Hubbard trying to stay steady to the outside. Almost contact. Now Hubbard way out there, and Leclerc is going to go on by, so Hubbard blew it at the top of the hill there. And St. Laurent, Blakely, Eagland, Gebhardt. Gebhardt is dominating this moto. 25 seconds in the lead. Eagland hasn't crashed since he got into second. And coming up to the halfway point of this moto, Gebhardt is just crushing it out front right now. Whoa, but gets together with a lapped rider. I don't know who that was, but Gebhardt is down. That is coming down the downhill, I think. Yeah, right before the switchbacks. So lost 10 seconds, and that gap is going to come down to 15-ish seconds coming down the hill here for Eagland. He just did a 2:02.5. And let's see where that gap is now at. 19.1, going to go a little bit lower though. Or not. That was a very fast fall-off crash then by Gebhardt. So Chase Blakely still runs third. And St. Laurent fourth with Leclerc right behind him. Then Hubbard's still in the mix as well. So how will this battle unfold? Can Leclerc make a quick pass happen like he has with most others through the field so far? This is that inside line. Almost contact with St. Laurent. Dropping down the hill. St. Laurent trying to hold off this charge Leclerc has been putting on. St. Laurent going to go inside, drop down the hill. Leclerc likes this outside though. He's kind of cheeky with his lines. He's got a way to go fast through kind of both of them. And look at this, outside to in. What a pass by Leclerc. Hubbard is trying to go with him, though. And he's going to try to make a quick pass on St. Laurent as well. And then Lang just behind that. So Lang is kind of up the ante a little bit here. He's gotten around Magnetti. And he's trying to keep tabs on Leclerc ahead of him, just like in the first moto. Hubbard up the inside on St. Laurent's going to get by. So Hubbard is definitely keeping Leclerc honest here. Since Leclerc got around him, Hubbard has not lost too much of that toe to the number one. Off the track there a little bit though, but didn't lose too much time and held position. So here is Leclerc, and Leclerc setting sail after Blakely now, and that gap is already coming down pretty quickly. Leclerc starting to put down some hot laps, 2:02.5 last time by. And this race is kind of unfolding almost the exact same way Moto 1 did. Gebhardt, huge lead, everybody kind of wrangling it back. Eagland, the first guy that has maybe the opportunity to take it away, in second right now. Leclerc coming from way back, bringing Lang with him. They both catch everybody, and before you know it, we had a four-rider battle to the flag. Are we going to have that exact same story again? Could Blakely get into the mix as well? Hubbard's been strong late in this moto. We'll see what happens. But Leclerc is eyes focused on Chase Blakely right now. And Blakely's going to go down. Blakely has hit the deck in transition there. Hubbard is going to go around, as will Lang. And Blakely gets going just as his teammate got there. Oh, Lang through the front door out of the corner. So Magnetti goes by, Blakely goes by, St. Laurent goes by. And Janice doesn't quite get there, but Lang has now lost 3 more positions. Not ideal for the number 14. And Leclerc up into third now. So we have got a 21-second lead. Gebhardt back to Eagland. 30 seconds off the lead is Leclerc. But the gap is coming down just a little bit here. And Gebhardt trying to navigate through traffic the best way that he can. We'll go on board with him here for a lap and see what it looks like. Kara Money in chat says, The good news is Braden Carter is awake and alert, but he has been taken to the nearest Rocket League match for further evaluation. That sounds about as on par for Braden Carter as I can think of. But he also does play like Trackmania with us from time to time. So now it's a 28.4 second lead. Leclerc is up into second. So something happened. Wow, something really happened to Eaglin. He's behind Hubbard now. And Magnetti's right behind him, so everybody's tightened up here. Blakely's right there, laying off the back of this group. I can see him coming down the hill. So something happened to the 24 of Colby Eaglin on the Covenant ride that we did not see on screen. And he has lost 2 positions crucially and fallen back into the clutches of pretty much everybody else. Watching this battle unfold here as it's Eaglin, Magnetti, Blakely, Lang in a train. And with 10 minutes left in this moto, it's going to be interesting to see whether or not Leclerc can eat away at the time to Gebhardt out front and go 1-1 today. Or will he settle for 1-2 and still win the overall? Meanwhile, Lang is really pushed up to this group, and something tells me he's not going to want to waste too much time. He's going to want to try to make quick passes if he can. Seeing Leclerc getting more and more valuable points against him like he did in that first moto. It's got to kind of crush Lang a little bit, because for a little bit there he was in a shot to beat Leclerc and gain some good championship points against him. And then the second moto has kind of unraveled the way it has for him. So he's got to just pull points back, pass as many guys as he can. It's going to start with Chase Blakely as Blakely tried to get it stopped for the inside to protect and just couldn't quite get it slowed down in time. So Lang through. Next up, he's going to try to work on Magnetti. Oh, Hubbard off the track. And whoa, that's an awful track reentry right there for Jacob Hubbard. And Colby Eaglin goes down. So Magnetti, Lang, Blakely all go by. And Lang is still working on Magnetti, which is now for third after that changed around. Something tells me Leclerc's not going to eat too much time away. He did a 2 flat 0.6, but Gebhardt's actually extended the gap, so what the heck is Gebhardt about to run? Unless Leclerc ran the 2 flat 0.6 and then did something drastically wrong. But Gebhardt did a 2 flat 0.6 himself, now did a 2.026, so yeah, maybe Leclerc did something a little bit off the mark there. Here's Lang on Magnetti. Ethan Parks moving out of the way there, at the bottom of the hill. To the outside, Lang goes. Does this work? Long way around, but a better drive up the hill. He's going to pull almost alongside, scrub it down, and try to shut the door hard into the corner. Tyler Lang, what a pass to move up into third. The number 14 Underground RC effort now into third and salvaging as many points against Leclerc as possible. So if I'm not mistaken, Lang, who was third in the first moto, lost 5 points to Leclerc. Now with this moto, he's currently losing 2 more points, so he'd lose 7 points on the day. And he entered 7 points down, right? So he'd be 14 down if I'm doing math right. Gap continuing to extend between Leclerc and Gebhardt. So Leclerc did a 205.8, 204 flat for Lang. Magnetti's still right on him. That battle's not over just yet. And with about 6 minutes and 2 laps still to go, we're getting into the nitty-gritty here in 450 moto number 2. Magnetti hopping up to the top of the hill down the inside. And then Lang shoots through. Behind that, it is still Colby Eagland in 5th. So he almost goes through the front door. Daniel Mills and Jacob Hubbard battling hard for 6th. Oh, Hubbard with the underflip, or 360. Kind of looked more like an underflip to me. Ahead of D Mills. That was a good one. So smooth. They're still side by side coming down this hill. Matthias Janis right behind them. Battle kind of stagnating a little bit. It seems like Hubbard slightly opened up a gap on them. Oh, Leclerc down in 2nd. And Lang is going to smell some blood in the water here if he can get to Leclerc. Leclerc just getting going, and here is Lang. Oh, and then Lang goes down the same corner. He does not fall off the bike, though. That's crucial. That's going to keep him in range here. 7.4 seconds down. Magnetti going to see that and try to close up as well. But Lang still in it with a shot that if Leclerc has another fall-off crash, he could maybe get around him and gain some points. Dominating ride here for Walter Gebhardt, though. This is one of those that if the first moto just didn't have the last 10 minutes of it that it did, Gebhardt's looking at one of the more dominating 1-1 performances than we've seen in a while, especially with this field right now. But unfortunately, it just fell apart there for him in the first moto. He's definitely turned it around a lot here in the second moto, figured some stuff out. And getting the start that he did obviously helped a ton, but he has looked so good here. And if I remember right about Gebhardt, this is a track that he usually excels well at. He has come to High Point in the past and really put a hurting on people. Ooh, Magnetti now ahead of Lang, as is Eagland. So Lang is running to the struggle bus again. Lang going to try to catch back up to Eagland and Magnetti and make something happen to not lose too many points there. Eagland definitely pushing Magnetti here. And 2.5 minutes and 2 laps still to go. These guys are all so close, but nothing really happening just yet. Lang might be getting close enough to think about something here on Eagland. That bump to the inside again. Developing where these guys can jump. Lap traffic aplenty here too, as they're trying to get out of the way. They're trying to stay off to the side and let the race progress as it may. In front of them is a bit of a hang up there for Eagland, and Lang runs into his rear tire. Magnetti's sneaking away in third a little bit here. But the battle for fourth is hot and heavy between these two. This race is all but won by Walter Gebhardt. He is so far out in front. Leclerc has got second pretty well locked down. Magnetti's holding on to third, and this battle behind them, both of these guys would like a shot at Magnetti still, but they're kind of dealing with each other a little bit more than anything else right now. And it's going to be 3 to go this time by with a little under a minute on the clock, and Gebhardt way out in front. I don't think he's going to get back to the flag again in about 30 seconds, but who knows? Back to this battle again. Eaglin Lang just off the back of Magnetti. Oh, Lang sideways and down. Oh, Tyler Lang has just had too many crashes late in this race, and it has really hurt him. And he will remain here in 5th, it seems. That is going to give some breathing room to Colby Eaglin, and let's see if that allows him to kind of catch right up to Magnetti here. Now that he's not riding defensively, he can attack the track a little bit more. Oh, no, but he goes down as well. Tucks the front end here at the bottom of the hill. And is that going to be opportunity for Lang to get through? It is. Lang up to 4th. Ahead of Eaglin. So, unfortunately, both of them needed crashes for Lang to get by him. But Lang is gaining a little bit more points there. Gebhardt out front just got the 2-lap board and then sent it off the track. But he is so far out front, it's not even funny. Gap is 41.2 seconds. Gebhardt did a 57.6 last time by and just crashed in the first corner. But he... what? Are you kidding me with that lap time? Yo, hold on. Is that faster than the qualifying time they did? Walter Gebhardt on something good here tonight at High Point. This dude ridiculous. Oh my god, dude. He on X Games mode, dude. It's making a lot of mistakes right now, though. I mean, corral it back together. Tossing big whips. He's having fun with it. I respect it. That's insane. 2 seconds faster than qualifying. Yeah, I just got it pulled up here. A 59.4. 1:59.4 was the qualifying time for the track tonight. And that's of people that are like, they're literally just qualifying. They're just trying to do a hot lap. Gebhardt right now, I mean, I guess you could say he's trying to do a hot lap, but he is leading 450 Moto 2 by 40 seconds and just decides, yeah, I'll just run the fastest lap on the track by 2 whole seconds. No problem. All good. Insane. Well, white flag is going to come out for him, and it looks like Leclerc must have gone down again because it's back out to a 41-second gap. Magnetti actually only 6 seconds off of Leclerc. Lang 4 seconds behind Magnetti. 3 seconds back of that is Eaglin. Janison 6th, Hubbard 7th. Battle for 6th here. Oh, and just as I get to it, Hubbard goes down. Blakely kind of all over the place there getting going. They're going to jump right to where Hubbard was, and Mills is going to shove Blakely out of the way. So these three are nose to tail. This should be a good battle to the flag, as white flag has waved for Walter Gebhardt out front. Coming down the hill, Daniel Mills. Back up the other side. And Chase Blakely has fallen off the back of this group. Yeah, it looks like he went down on the inside there. And trying to get going before St. Laurent, his teammate, comes into the picture. But Mills is still putting the pressure on Hubbard. So Hubbard can't take a breath just yet. He's got to hold steady. Oh, Hubbard slides out, though. And that is going to be Mills by into 7th. Matthias Janis a little bit up the road, and Magnetti went down. That promotes Lang back into third place, I should say. And look at Leclerc. He's dealing with some hefty lap traffic. What if that will affect him a bit? Might lose focus and have a late crash here. That could negatively impact him and positively affect Lang down the stretch. But Leclerc dealing with all kinds of lap traffic here. Cade Matherly on the 100 right behind him, who's 23rd. And then Leclerc, I think, is trying to lap another rider that's 2 laps down. It might be, is that Jet Wisdom, perhaps? And then Adam Holm just landed off the quad ahead of that. Seems like there's only about 30 riders still circulating, and Leclerc found all of the lapped riders in one spot here. But how about this type of ride by Walter Gebhardt in the second moto? He's not going to get the overall with that 6 in the first moto, but he should be good enough to land on the box. And this has been one of the more dominant moto performances in recent memory. Gebhardt leads every lap, puts in the fastest lap in High Point history, 2 laps from the end, and Walter Gebhardt wins Moto 2 here at High Point. The day is going to belong to this man, though, Alexis Leclerc, who charged through the field in the first moto to nab the win away on the last lap from Colby Eagland. Again, had to charge through the field here in the second moto, but he's going to extend his championship lead. He's going to win another race victory here. Another one for the mantle for Leclerc. Leclerc's done it again. He wins at High Point in 2021. Colby Eagland to the top of the hill. Should be good enough for second overall with 2-3 scores, and Lang behind him is going to go 3-4 on the day, I think that is, for him with a 4th. Luke Magnetti ends up in 5th in this moto behind Lang. Matthias Janis will cross the line in 6th. Daniel Mills back here brings it home 7th. Jacob Hubbard here in 8th. 9th will be Chase Blakely. Dennis Fjellberg, man, he was way down the order early on as well, and he will end up in 10th in this one. Braden Castaneda coming down the hill in 11th, ahead of William St. Laurent in 12th. Caleb Hall back here is 13th. 14th for Jack Haley, so just missed out on the double top 10s on a 2-stroke. It's going to be 15th for Caden Speck, 16th for Reed Young, 17th for Robert Wilson, and Kyle Carpenter 18th, and the last rider on the lead lap. Aaron Rockefeller 19th, and Devin Davis 20th. Adam Holm just misses out on points by 5 seconds. Uh-oh, we got a battle to the flag here. These guys are not done disputing it. Robert Wilson, Caden Speck, Reed Young, nose to tail. Caden Speck going to try to send it, but he sends himself off the track. Reed Young up the inside. Speck trying to drive it up the hill to the outside here. And into the last turn. Oh, he almost had him, but Reed Young holds steady. Speck crosses the line there. 17th. Carpenter 18th. Rockefeller 19th. And Holm does get Davis on cuts. Devin Davis, wow, had 11.8 seconds of cuts for Devin Davis. Wow, that's crazy. So Holm gets points. Speck jumps around Reed Young for 15th. And Robert Wilson. And let's see, anything else changed up here? Magnetti and Daniel Mills both hopped around Janis by the looks of it. Or so I think. But Gebhardt wins Moto 2. Leclerc wins the overall. And that is today's day done and dusted here at High Point. Holy smokes. What a day. That was a lot of fun, though. Great racing action here tonight at High Point. All 4 motos provided a lot of really interesting stuff. And, of course, congratulations to Alexis Leclerc and Payson Johnson on their overall victories here tonight. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this broadcast. As always, appreciate everybody that stopped by, watched this one. This was a really fun one here tonight, round 3 of the championship. We'll be back next week with round 4 of the Grand Prix championship from Assen and round 4 of the national championship from Southwick. So a couple sand races next week, next Monday and Wednesday specifically after High Point. So we'll look forward to having you guys there. Of course, a big shout out again to all of our sponsors on board with us this year. Our Jerky, head over to eatourjerky.com. Use the code SYS20 for 20% off your order. atom.com as well. Check out his line of merch and help him out for jumping on board with us on the stream this year. And of course, all of RaceFactory Gaming's many sponsors that have helped out this series to put it on and make it a very fun one for us every year. But that's round 3 at High Point, done and dusted for the 2021 RaceFactory Gaming National Championship. And MX Simulator, Kellen Brower here signing off and saying we'll see you guys next week at Assen.
We will make it at no point to look back. We're going to attack. When death begins, we will make